Chapter 1: Skinny Jeans and a Baggy Hoodie. I pull the hood up and make my way inside the building. I have to keep up appearances for my dad at these meetings. I pull my hood down, and my brown hair falls around my shoulders. I sit next to Dad as the Alpha talks. The Alpha doesn't know Dad has ignored me since Mom died 14 years ago. I play with the ends of my hoodie strings as Dad talks. My wolf stirs as I sit there. I keep my eyes cast down onto the floor. I hear the Alpha dismiss us, and I get up and almost make it to the door when I knock on someone's door. "I'm so sorry," I mumble. I look up and meet gray eyes and realize I'm staring at Murphy Ashford. He looks at me, stunned and confused. I turn my head slightly and start to move when my wolf whispers to me, "Mate." I look away and Murphy grabs my arm and pulls me back. He searches my face and my heart starts beating loudly. I can hear the blood rushing in my ears. I, Murphy Ashford, reject Adalyn Carter as my mate. The people around us let out gasps. I stand frozen on the spot, looking for a lifeline. My heart feels like it has been ripped out. I force a smile on my face. I, Adalyn Carter, accept your rejection. I turn on my heel and run. I don't know where I'm going. All I know is I can't stay here in the Silver Moon Pack. I make it across the border, and I feel the link in my mind break from them. I change and let my wolf take me from this place that has caused me so much pain. I let the thoughts of Murphy and my dad fade. I let the pain of this life fade behind me, knowing I will eventually have to face it, but for now, running is my best option. I wake up against a tree freezing. I rub my arms and start towards the border of the nearest pack, hoping to find refuge. I make my way to the border and meet the patrol. I shift and hold up my hands. I come in peace. I seek refuge, I say. My voice cracks and I stare at a black wolf. "Why do you seek refuge?" I turn and look at the man talking to me. My mate rejected me. I am the daughter of Luke Carter, beta to the Silver Moon Pack. My name is Adalyn Carter. He treated me as though I were a slave. I am seeking refuge. Please, I can't go back. If I go back, you're signing my death warrant because I will not go back there alive. I plead. Tears were falling down my face. I lift my hand, wipe the tear away, and look at the man. I am Alpha Aspen Crawford of the Lost Lupus pack. I grant you refuge into my pack. I sigh and fall to my knees. Relief floods my body, and I can't help but let out a sob. Aiden, take her to my house and get Ansley to get her cleaned up so I can talk to her in my office. The black wolf shifts, picks me up, and carries me further into the Lost Lupus territory. I'm sorry, Adalyn. No one should ever feel what you have had to feel. You are worth love. You will find someone. No one should have to be without a mate. I look up at Aiden and smile. Maybe I'll get a second chance. I say, I'd pray that the moon goddess be so kind. He lets me down when we are in front of a giant house. This is where Aspen lives? I question. Yeah, him, me, and his sister Ansley. She is my wife as well as my mate. I smile, and he looks at me with such pity in his eyes. You don't have to pity me. I will rise past this. I have to. I say. Aiden walks into the house and is greeted by a pretty blonde girl. I smile, and she turns to me. You must be Adalyn, she says. Her eyes show so much sorrow, and I can't help but smile. I have to go, my love. Take care of Adalyn, please. Ansley nods and kisses Aiden and drags me up the stairs to the second floor, or down to the west wing. She opens the double door and pulls me through, and I gasp. It's who, I say. She smiles. She opens another door, and a huge closet stretches out in front of me. I stand next to Ansley, and she smiles. Let's get you dressed. I smile and watch as she turns to organize my clothes. I stand in front of Aspen's office door with Ansley. I feel nervous. You're going to be fine. Be truthful and answer the questions, and you will be golden. I nod, and she opens the office door and pushes me in, closing the door behind me. Aspen looks up and smiles. Adalyn. He gestures to a chair, and I take it. I have some questions. I nod. All right. He smiles and begins. So how old are you? He asks. 20. Birthday. December 3rd. Status. Beta. Parents. Athena and Luke Carter. Siblings? None. Lastly, do you want to join this pack? I do. Aspen smiles and grabs my hand. His canines bite into the flesh of my left palm. I hiss, and he pulls away and wipes the blood from his mouth. A crescent moon appears on my palm, and he smiles. Welcome to my pack, Adalyn Carter. He says. No, Adalyn Lupus. My mom's maiden name. I say. Very well. We walk out of his office and onto a balcony. I look around and notice many people have gathered at the base of the balcony. Welcome, Adalyn Lupus, second beta to the Lost Lupus pack. I hear howls, and I look down, and Aiden winks at me. Welcome home, Adalyn. I smile and nod. I'm home. Murphy's POV. I stand watching Adalyn's retreating figure as she disappears into the thick of the woods. Her father walks over to me and punches me in the face. I look up and grab him by the throat. Don't test me. I yell. You rejected my daughter, you piece of... Luke growls. You did no better. You think we haven't seen the bruises or the burns on her skin, or the busted lip she has every week. You have treated her worse than an Omega. You are her father. You were supposed to protect her. Yet you failed. I growl. I feel my canines extending. Luke, is this true? My dad asks. People are looking between the three of us, waiting for something to happen. Yes, he says, shame in his eyes. Dad looks at everyone, and his eyes flash. Out! Everyone get out! Dad yells. The room clears, leaving me, Dad, and Luke in the conference room. You have let the future Luna leave. You have rejected your mate, the person the moon goddess has chosen for you, all for what? The girl who has been fulfilling your needs. She is no more Luna material than you are Alpha material at the moment. I expected better from you. He turns and looks at Luke. You have beaten the one person in this world you have left. I know losing Athena was hard. It was hard when I lost Natalie. I never turned my back on Murphy. I'm sorry, Michael. Luke says. His eyes filled with tears as Dad spoke. Get out of my house, the both of you. Dad yells. I quickly leave the room and head into the woods. Olivia kisses down my chest, her hands making their way into my pants. I close my eyes as she moves. I grab her hair and pull her close. She lies down next to me as I close my eyes. She looks at me, the morning light shining on her face. She looks at me and tries to kiss me. I move away from her. Babe, make me Luna, she says. I turn and look at her. She smiles at me, and I look at her. She pushes up against me and kisses me. I grab her and move her hair out of her face and away from her neck. As I go to bite her, my dad flings the door open. Adalyn has found a new pack. He looks at me and Olivia. Thought you would like to know the mate you rejected has now rejected us. Dad slams the door shut. Babe. She kisses my cheek and plays with my hair. Mark me. Shut up, Olivia, I growl. She pulls away from me. I feel her get up and leave my room. I listen as the door shuts and I lie back on my bed. I rejected my mate. Chapter 2. 1 year later, I bite down on the rogue's neck. I sling the wolf away and stalk towards the next one. Aspen looks at me and shakes his head. I shift and grab the wolf's neck and force him to change. He lies at my feet, naked, covered in blood. Who are you? Aspen growls. None of your business, the rogue hisses. You will answer. I growl. I press my foot into his neck, making him cough. Get off me. The rogue snaps. I've struck a nerve, haven't I? What is she, the one you're with? The rogue taunts. Aspen lets out a low growl. And him, Addie. He's not going to talk. Aspen leaves me with the rogue. I lean down and kiss him. Greet death as an old friend, I say. I snap his neck and leave his body on the ground. Aspen looks at me, and we greet Aiden. Well, you certainly keep your name, huh? Kiss of death. Aiden bumps my shoulder, and I laugh. Better than when you first met me, I say. Aspen growls and pulls me into his arms. I'll take care of him, I swear. It's okay, Aspen. How are you doing, babe? I ask. Aspen looks down. I'm better. It hasn't been as bad lately. I can sleep. I just have to lay there for a while. I don't get why the moon goddess would do this to me. Why bring Mallory into my life just in time to watch her die? I hate that she died before I could mark her. She deserved the world. Hell, she deserved a lifetime, and I only got a week. I lean up and kiss his cheek. He looks at me and smiles. Sorry, babe. I walk into the house and am slammed to the ground. I look up and Ansley is smiling at me. Damn, boo, just scare me. I laugh and she helps me up. The guys look at us and shake their heads. Aspen, Alpha Ashford is on the phone. Ansley says, I'm sorry, love. I nod and leave everyone in the living room. I make my way to my bedroom and sit on the floor. I can hear my door open and Aiden walks in. He sits down next to me and I lean against him. I'm sorry, Addie. I'm sorry how much this hurts, and I'm sorry that you haven't gotten a second chance yet. Aiden murmurs into my hair. I look at him and smile. Maybe I'm not meant to have a second chance. I say. He looks at me with sad eyes. Let's go be betas. I say. I stand up and pull him with me down the hall. Of course we will help. I'll meet you tomorrow. Yes, my betas will be with me. He listens and then answers. Of course. See you tomorrow, Alpha Ashford. Aspen looks up at me and smiles. They have a rogue problem, but not the numbers. His warriors aren't equipped. Aspen says. Yeah, Maddox died almost 2 years ago. He was one hell of a fighter. I've never seen anyone move with that kind of fire. He was driven like no other. He made everyone look like ants next to him. He was amazing. Goddess rest his soul. I say. Not as good as you, babe. Aspen says. Yes, he was amazing. He was something of another world. I swear that man was gifted by the goddess herself. I say. Look at you being modest. Aspen says. I shake my head and sit on the windowsill, looking at Aiden and Aspen. So, we're going? I ask. Yeah, Marcus and Ansley are going to run this. A few other people are going with us, but you're going to be the only girl. I look at Aspen and he laughs. Well then. We laugh and I look at my 2 best friends. I'm going for a run. I kiss both of them on the cheek and leave them in the office. I need to clear my head. I stand next to Aspen and Aiden, my bike nearby. They're laughing and I'm playing with the end of my crop top. I push my aviators down and look out towards the pack border. I take a deep breath and nod at the boys. They smile and get back into the Hummers and Aspen gets on his bike. We ride into the town and past the little shops. I can still smell the scents of my childhood. I can even smell the flower shop on the corner next to the high school. The Silver Moon Pack protects the humans here, and only a few know about our kind. We're almost there, guys. That makes me feel so much better. Aiden says, Baby. No, I want to take care of that jackass. I swear he's lucky we have a truce. Let Addie do this. He is going to regret everything. I've accepted it, guys. I don't care. Part of you does. Aspen says, Let's get this done. I growl. We pull up in front of the pack house, and I brush my hair into a messy bun. Aspen pulls me next to him, and we make our way to the pack house. A little girl opens the door and yells for Murphy. I hear growls, and I laugh. I stand against the porch railing, listening to the guys. I put $50, she keeps her cool. Jason says, Nah, I'll put $50, she loses it and tries to take them down, Finn says. The other 3 guys join in, but I ignore them. Jack, Sam, and Danny all laugh as the wagers continue. I shake my head and hear Murphy coming up the hall. I drop down and stand next to my bike, trying to get as far away as possible. Alpha Aspen. Thank you so much. My father wanted to be here, but I fear his illness has prevented that. His beta is with him at the moment. Alpha Murphy. Aspen says, His teeth are so close together, I'm pretty sure you couldn't get a piece of straw between them. Who did you bring? Murphy asks. Sam, Jason, Jack, Danny, and Finn. Then my betas, Aiden and Addie. I step forward and stand next to the boys. Nice. This is my beta Ned. I look up and see the guy who was once an Omega. I laugh, and all eyes turn to me. Is something funny? Murphy asks. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that last time I saw Ned, he was your punching bag. I remove my glasses, and I hear a gasp. Adalyn. Murphy says. Surprise, asshole. I say. Chapter 3. All eyes are on me. Murphy looks like someone slapped him in the face. I stood in front of the people who treated me badly. The same people who would throw me into walls, break things over my head, and leave me hurt before sending someone to help me. Adalyn. I hear a small voice say. I turn around and see my dad. Some relief floods through my body that he is okay and nothing happened to him in the year I haven't been there to take care of him. Dad. I move towards him. He opens his arms and hugs me tightly against his body. He buries his face into the crook of my neck and sobs. I'm so sorry. I let them do this to you. I'm so sorry I never helped you. He pleads. I forgive you. I pull away, lay my hand on his cheek, and smile. Alpha Ashford. I say, Adalyn, please. He starts towards me, and Aiden and Aspen create a wall in front of me. I grab Aspen's hand and squeeze. It's fine, guys. He can't hurt me. I smile and let go of Aspen's hand. Alpha Ashford, as you can see, the fighters and I are very tired, and we would like to get some rest before we have to start training. I say, very well. Olivia will show you to the house you all will be staying in. I want to gag when Olivia smiles at the guys as she makes her way down the stairs towards us. I won't be long, my love, she says. She blows a kiss to Murphy, and I almost laugh. Aspen grabs me and pulls me close to his side. I hear Murphy growl, and Aspen stops in his tracks. Everyone around us visibly tenses. You lost that right, Alpha Ashford. Always remember, you lost that right the moment you rejected her. Aspen speaks, and everyone stops what they are doing to listen. I stand frozen, tucked into Aspen's side. We start moving back towards the cars to grab our bags when one word makes me stop in my tracks. Vulgar. I turn slowly. What did you say? I ask. Olivia throws her hair over her shoulder and looks back at her friends. I called you that. Olivia seems to get amped by the laughter. I thought that's what you said. I say. Addie, don't. Aiden says. I look at him, and he lets out a nervous laugh. You're in trouble. That is all Aiden can say. I move towards Olivia. She looks at me as I grab her hair and sling her across the yard. She sits up, touches her face, and lets out a gasp when she sees the blood from her busted lip. I grab her by the neck and sling her towards Murphy. He moves out of the way, looking at me, not making a move to help her up. I walk towards Olivia as she tries to get up. I kick her in her side, making a few ribs crack. She lets out a howl of pain. I straddle her, letting most of the weight settle on her ribs. She lets out another scream, and I slam my fist into her face. Her mouth is pooling with blood, and her face looks like something from a horror movie. Her wolf instincts finally kick in, and she swings. She doesn't land a blow, missing me by a couple of inches. She struggles to get up as she winces from her ribs. I move off of her, allowing her to get up and gain some footing. I'll show you to respect a Luna. Olivia spits. Bet $100 Addie puts her in the infirmary. Aiden says to Danny. I'm not stupid. She's going to put her in the ICU at an actual hospital. She is going to need more than the pack doctor. Danny says. Olivia tries to grab me by my shirt. I twist and let it fall off my body. I take my sweater twice, throw her hand up in it, and flip her on her back. I slam my foot down onto her arm, waiting for the snap. She screams out in pain, and I pull my foot away, slamming it into her face and knocking her out cold. Her head rolls to the side, and her breathing evens out. I shake my head. If this is how they are fighting, it's a wonder they all haven't died. I reach down and grab my shirt. I slide it over my head and look at the crowd. They each have a look of horror on their face, along with awe. I'm not a vulgar person. I hear anyone call me that, and I will put an end to it. I say. I turn and look at Murphy and Ned. I assume we are housed in the guest house near the quarry? I ask. Yeah, Ned says. I think we can take it from here. I go to walk away, and I stop. And Murphy, keep your companion away from me and my friends. I don't need her trying to throw her fake status in our faces. I'm not the same girl that left here heartbroken and beaten. I will not hesitate to take action and ask questions later. I say, We turn to move towards the quarry, and people part like I'm Moses, and I'm parting the Red Sea. I move a little faster to get out of the prying eyes. Chapter 4. I lay across the couch with my feet in Aiden's lap and my head in Aspen's. I flick through the channels, looking for something semi-interesting to watch. I hear the guys messing with something and then giggling like schoolboys. I set the remote down and sit up so I can look behind us. Aspen moves slightly so I can turn around and look at the guys. Jason, Sam, Finn, Danny, and Jack are looking at a phone, and I raise an eyebrow. I get up, moving silently over to the guys. I move and stand next to Danny. Not one has noticed me yet. I look over Jack's shoulder and look at the picture. It is of me standing shirtless next to Aspen with inappropriate words plastered underneath the image. Man, she is desperate. I say. The guys all jump and look at me like I'm a madwoman. Damn it, Adalyn. Danny says. He puts his hand on his heart. Danny, I'm so happy that I make your heart pick up. I say. Danny sticks his tongue out and I laugh. I move back to the couch and get back into my spot, taking the remote out of Aspen's hand. He looks down at me with a look on his face that makes me laugh. Oh, don't give me that look, you know you love me. I say. Aiden's phone rings, and he gets up and walks out to take the call. You're lucky I do love you, he says. Hey, we are going to harass the guys here at the gym, so have fun. Jack says. But not too much fun. Sam says. I sit up and throw the globe decor thing at their heads. They laugh, walking out of the house. I swear, those guys will be the death of me. I say. Aspen laughs in agreement. I flip through the channels some more until I see a familiar face on the television. Really, Adalyn? Your Walking Dead obsession is real. Aspen says. That it is. I keep my attention glued to the TV as Daryl and Rick chase after Jesus. Isn't this reruns? Aiden asks as he takes his spot at the bottom of the couch. Yes, but anything is amazing. I say. I happened to pass Ned when I was on the phone, and he wanted us to know that Murphy would like to talk to the three of us. Aiden says. Isn't that just perfect? I say. He is the alpha here, Adalyn. We can't ignore him. Aspen says. Yeah, but we didn't have to come to his aid. We could have let the rogues take the pack down. I argue back. And could you really live with that? Aspen asks. He stands up quickly, letting my head fall back onto the couch. I jump up and look at Aspen. Aiden is standing off to the side, slowly exiting the house. Yes, I would. That guy turned on me and made me feel so unwanted, useless, and broken. I yell at Aspen. Adalyn, I know you wouldn't want to watch an entire pack suffer for one person's wrongdoings. Aspen says. One person. Please. I was treated like a slave from everyone. I was kicked and hit and tripped. In school, everyone would call me names and make me feel like an idiot. So yes, I would. I growl. Tears started spilling from my eyes even though I was trying so hard to keep them all in. Aspen looks at me in defeat. He pulls my body close to him, kisses my head, and holds me tight. No one, and I mean no one, will ever hurt you again as long as I am around. Aspen whispers into my hair. I trust you fully, Aspen. I just don't trust Murphy. I say. He will not touch you unless you let him. Aspen says. In another life. I laugh. Aspen pulls away to look at me and smiles. Let's go find out what the guy wants. I laugh and shake my head at him. Yeah, let's go. I grab my boots and slip them on as we walk out the door. I shut it behind me and couldn't help but look at the place I grew up in a different light. Before my mom died, I thought that this place was glorious. I wanted to be a great beta. I wanted to show them that a girl could do this. I wanted to show them that I was more than a face. What are you thinking about? Aspen asks. How much I loved this place when I was younger. I loved it so much. I was looking forward to proving myself worthy of being the beta of this pack. When Mom died, it all went downhill and I was treated badly. I woke up every day wondering if it was worth it or if I should just say forget it. The worst part is that it all began when I was 6 years old. That's the hardest part of all this. I say. Kids are laughing and chasing each other in and out of the woods, dodging trees, and climbing up to taunt the others who aren't so fast. I smile, watching them play so carefree. Well, if it makes any difference at all, I am glad you didn't say forget it. Aspen says. I stopped walking and looked at him. Makes all the difference in the world. I say. Aspen leans down and kisses my cheek. He smiles and continues walking. So has much changed since you left? Aspen asks as we approach the house. Not really. Ned being a beta is new. He was treated worse than me in the shadows. I don't understand how that happened. The fact that they are now one of the weakest packs in this area is also new, but place-wise, no. I say, you're wrong. I look up and Murphy is standing on the porch of his house. I hadn't realized we had made it this far. The rogues burned down half the houses on the southern side near the border. We are still rebuilding. The forest on that part of my land is completely black. Nothing is like it used to be. Murphy looks away. Aspen looks at Murphy, and I can see the sympathy on his face. I hear someone yelling my name, and I smile. Aiden is running up and slams me to the ground. I start laughing, and Aspen looks at the two of us with a lopsided grin. Sorry, Alpha Murphy, was I interrupting something? Aiden asks. I can hear the sarcasm in his voice. No, not at all. Let's go in so we can talk. Murphy lets us into his house. It's good to see you, Adalyn. He whispers. He pushes past me, so I can't say anything back. I shake my head and follow them further into the house. Chapter 5. I settle into my seat next to Aiden. He hands me a beer, and I take it without hesitation. I tip the bottle back and chug it, setting it down. Aiden shakes his head and turns his head to the two alphas at the head of the table. We've never really had a rogue problem. I mean, there have been some here and there, but what is normal for a pack? Then all of a sudden, they started attacking in larger and larger numbers. Many of our warriors perished, and the others they couldn't teach left, so the younger ones coming up didn't have proper training and started letting their heads get in the way, causing them to make poor decisions. Murphy says, So why didn't you train them? I mean, you trained under the same people I had. You have the training. Maddox trained you in so many more ways than anyone. I say. Murphy looks at me. I wasn't in the right state of mind. Murphy says, Right state of mind? Are you kidding me? They're your people. They deserved and do deserve to be taught to fight. They should never have gone into battle not knowing. So many people, Murphy, died. So many children died because they weren't ready. I scream. I stand up, making my way toward Murphy. Not all of us had an easy time, okay? I wasn't right. My judgment was clouded. I couldn't think properly after you left. I couldn't think about anything. Murphy says, Please. You were using your so-called heartbreak as a crutch. I say, I was heartbroken. Murphy says, Yeah, so screwing around with Olivia is heartbroken? I growl. Murphy looks at me with wide eyes. I felt it. I felt you break the bond the rest of the way. I say, You don't get to come back and judge. You left and made a home somewhere else. I had to do what I had to do for my people. I didn't get to leave and go on a killing spree. He yells. His eyes flash, and it does nothing but piss me off. A killing spree? That's what you think I did? If anything, I was protecting the people I love. I was protecting my alpha. I did my duty to my people and to my alpha. I didn't cower behind someone else and neglect my responsibilities. As far as I'm concerned, you didn't do a damn thing for your people except put a big target on their backs. Now all these rogues think this is easy prey and they think they can pick you off. They know the alpha is weak and can't keep his people safe. You let them be slaughtered. I say, Guys, can we talk about the matter at hand? You two can sort this out later. Aspen says through gritted teeth. I sit down next to him, and he lays a hand on my leg, calming me down. I look up at Aspen, and he smiles. The rogues. How have they been attacking? Aspen asks. Always through the south. They won't come any other way. Murphy says. Okay, I will send Adalyn and Aiden to take a look and see what they can find. We will hold sessions in the morning around 8. Then again around 1. The last session will be at 7, and these will be every day. Your people can either show up or not. You and Adalyn need to talk before you end up doing something you will regret. Aspen says. I look at Aspen like he has lost his mind. Aspen. I say. My voice cracks a little. Time to face your past, babe. He kisses me on the forehead, and he looks at Adalyn and motions for him to follow. I stay in my seat and look at Murphy. He looks at Aspen's retreating figure, and as soon as the door closes, he looks at me. Here we go. Chapter 6. Murphy looks at me and back at his hands. Now you want to be quiet, I say. I move to the window. The sun's warmth makes me feel better. I don't know what you want me to say, Adalyn. You obviously have it all figured out. You think you know how I felt. You think you know, he says. I turn around and look at him. He isn't even looking at me. Then prove me wrong. You weren't heartbroken because if you were, would you have really slept with Olivia? I ask. I don't know. Adalyn, I was so heartbroken. I felt a part of me being ripped out of my body when you left here. You were gone, and I was broken. Dad told me I wasn't worth being Alpha because I let myself decide what I wanted. I forsook what the goddess had in store for me because I let some girl put herself in between what I wanted. Murphy says, "You did this." I yell. I move away from the window and look at Murphy. You were the one to reject me. I felt useless and abandoned. The one person who was supposed to love me no matter what didn't. The one person who was supposed to love me rejected me. I ran and found solace somewhere else, and now I have to come back and be reminded of what I went through when I lived here. I stand in this room where you rejected me. I say, I didn't think exactly, you didn't think. I cut him off. You never think. Everything with you is impulse. I trained next to you from the time we could walk, but I was never enough. I wasn't good enough, and you made that perfectly clear the day you rejected me. I say, I never wanted this. He says, really? Because this is what you got. I scream. Damn it, Adalyn. I have always loved you. He screams, slamming his fist into the table. That's rich coming from you. I say, Adalyn. He says, I can't, Murphy. Do you know how bad you hurt me? Then to feel it completely disappear because of something you did. To feel the stab of rejection, the final blow. As much as I know you don't want to hear it, Aspen stepped up. He was in a rough spot when I met him. He had just found his mate only to find out she was dying. He still brought me in and nursed me back to health. I wanted to die. I wanted nothing more than to die. I wanted to disappear into nothing. I wanted to just die. I didn't want to feel the pain anymore. I wanted to die. Aspen told me that if he could live through watching his mate die in front of him, I could live with this pain. Adalyn taught me to harness the feelings I had. They taught me to redirect the anger. I became the kiss of death. I say, I never meant to hurt you. Murphy tries again. But you did, and now you've lost me or ever having the chance with me again. But if the goddess decides to give you a second chance, be kind to her or him. Treat them with so much respect. Let Olivia down easily and not be rude and ignorant about it. She is still a person no matter how much I can't stand her. I say. I walk to Murphy and kiss his cheek. May the goddess be gracious. I leave him in the room by himself, and I feel like the weight of the world has been lifted off my shoulders. Chapter 7. The walk to the house seemed to stretch on for an eternity. I listen to the woods and the things around me. I see the house come into view. Aspen is sitting on the porch, and it looks like he is in deep thought. I make my way up the steps and pass Aspen. He doesn't look up, so I don't bother him, almost glad not to be badgered about what was talked about in the war room. I make it to my room and turn on my music. I let the music blare through the house. I hear the door crack open, and I look up and Adalyn smiles at me. How did it go? He asks through the music. Fine. We yelled then talked. I got it out of my system, but to be honest, it hurt. It felt like the bond was breaking all over again. It felt like I was walking away again, but it also felt good. I felt so free, like the weight of the world is off of my shoulders and I no longer have to worry about it. I say. I lean over, turn the music down on my phone, and look back to Adalyn. He is sitting down on the couch next to the window. Well, that's good. I guess Ansley really wanted to know how it went. How did she? I ask. Aspen called her after we left the room. He heard the yelling, but blocked the rest of the conversation, said it wasn't our business, but I wanted to know, and so did Ansley. Adalyn says. I shake my head at Adalyn. You have balls of steel, my friend. I say, laughing. I do, and it's a shame because they are such lovely balls. Aiden says. Okay, well that made no sense, but sure, Aiden, sure. I say. Aspen went to take care of some pack business and said he would be gone for a few days. We are to act as we would if he was here, and he said he would call as soon as he could. Aiden says. That bastard. I say. Leaving me here with you. I start to laugh at him as his face falls. You're such a pain sometimes. He says. I try my best. Want to check out the south border with me? I guess. Are the idiots coming with us? I ask. Nah, they're in the gym trying to impress the women here. I laugh and pull him up off the couch. Let's go look at a border, buddy OL pal. The woods are quiet and nothing seems to be moving. No animals, nothing. It's like something doesn't want anything here. I walk alongside Aiden, and he is looking around as if he is waiting for someone to drop in on us. This is eerie. Aiden says. I know. It makes my skin crawl. I run my hands up and down my arms to bring some warmth to them. It's weird. I mean, there is nothing here that would allow easy access to the area. I mean, Murphy should have people running the border at all times, so there should be nothing to stop that. Aiden says. Yeah, and why are they picking the southernmost border to cross on? And why hasn't Alpha Strider said anything about someone crossing his border? I mean, Murphy's dad has a peace treaty with Grant's dad. Sure, there isn't a rivalry that we don't know about. I mean, if someone is slipping through the borders undetected, it's not completely rocket science. Someone has to be helping them cross, but the only hole is how has no one who is manning the borders not noticed the fact that a pack of almost 20 to 30 rogues are crossing at one time? I mean, even if the Alpha is turning a blind eye, someone in the pack is bound to notice. I say. Not if the Alpha is using fear to keep them from talking. Aiden says. I don't think Grant would do that to his people. I mean, I remember him from when we were kids, and he didn't seem like the kind of person to just mess with an entire pack just to satisfy a vendetta. I say, people change, and you said it yourself when I first met you. No one really let you go to the meetings, so something could have been going on that you didn't know about. Aiden says, let's just look around before we go accusing people of treason. I say, I'm just saying, Murphy isn't your cookie-cutter nice guy. He is mean when he wants to be. I mean, he is letting a girl parade around just to embarrass her. Let's just find something to take to Aspen and Murphy. I say. I walk around the border, take in a deep breath, and start coughing. I drop to my knees, feeling my lungs tightening up. I try to yell out, but I can't say anything. It's like something has me by the throat and isn't letting anything in. I grasp at my lungs, and I can feel the burning spread throughout my body. I can see Aiden dropping to the ground. His eyes start rolling into the back of his head, and I reach out for him. I can feel my eyes growing heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open. I roll onto my side and notice something purple growing up from the ground. I crawl towards the plant and yank it out of the ground. My entire hand burns on contact, and I let out a muted yell. I sling the plant as far as I can from me. I lift my body up off the ground and grab Aiden. He looks at me through hooded eyes. I pull him as far as I can until I completely collapse on the ground. Adalyn. Aiden. I look up and Jason and Sam are running towards me and Aiden. I shake my head, trying to warn them, but I succumb to the darkness and all I can feel is a nice warmth. Chapter 8. I sit up with a pounding headache. I rub my temples and look around the room. No one is in the room except a nurse who is looking at my monitor. Glad you are up. Alpha Murphy is going to be pleased, she says. I look at her as she retreats out of the room. I can hear shouting in the hall. I stand up and rip the needles out of my arm. I stumble to the door frame and hold on as if it is the only thing keeping me alive. It's been 3 weeks and you're just now telling me that Adalyn is in the infirmary. I can hear Aspen yelling. Wait, what? 3 weeks? I've been out for 3 weeks. I didn't think it would matter, Murphy says. He is looking at Aspen. Doesn't matter. She is my beta. Aspen yells. I thought Aiden would have informed you, Murphy says. Ned stands next to the two men. Aiden is dealing with the rogues who keep at your borders. When did you think he would have the time? He has been putting his life on the line for your people. Aiden hasn't had the time between him waking up not a week ago and dealing with your mess. Aspen yells. Rogues? Since when were they back? Why do you really care, Aspen? Why does Adalyn mean so much to you? Murphy asks. Because she is my family. She is my pack. She is my beta. Aspen yells out. Everyone in the halls has stopped what they are doing and is looking at both alphas, who are yelling at each other. Not one of the nurses has noticed that I have made my way out of bed and have joined them in the hallway. Aspen, I call out. He turns and looks at me. All the anger on his face melts away in an instant, and he smiles. I try to walk, but I don't have enough energy to move. I almost fall, but Aspen grabs me and carries me back to bed. He sits down next to me. I lay my head against his shoulder as he lays me back on the bed and covers me up. How are things with Alpha Pete? I ask. Later. For now, I just want you to get better. Aspen says. I am better. 3 weeks of sleep is plenty. I say. Not nearly. I want you to be fully healed. Your lucky Ansley isn't here. He says. Oh my goddess. You didn't tell her, did you? I ask. No, only the goddess would be able to save us from her wrath. I only just found out that you were down. Aspen says. Goddess, help us then. I laugh. I can't believe no one told me that you had been hurt. He says. I'm not hurt. It's wolfsbane. There is a ton of it growing at the south border. If the rogues are coming through there, that's why they wouldn't have known it, but what I haven't figured out is how are wolves getting through without any kind of sickness or illness. I say, I don't know. I mean, if humans were helping them, then maybe they would be able to make it through the wolfsbane. Don't overthink it, Addie. I don't want you to overexert yourself. Aspen says. He moves to get up, and I grab his arm and pull him back onto the bed. Stay with me, please. I mumble. I yawn and pull him close to my body. I will stay with you, Addie. Aspen lies back and pulls me halfway onto his chest. Chapter 9. I sit next to Aspen as Aiden tells me everything I've missed, the training that has been going on since I fell asleep. It almost feels like the old times before all this chaos happened. So Olivia showed up and was talking crap, so I was like, no, she isn't. So Aiden made her run like 50 extra miles. Sam says. I shake my head and laugh as Sam and Danny reenact the scene. Both act like they are teenage girls. She started complaining, so Aiden added more miles. I mean, she was bad-mouthing my favorite person in the world. I have never seen a pack so pissed to be running more miles. That girl is going to be so hated. Danny says. I shake my head and laugh. So, what has been happening with the rogues? I ask. Nothing really. They are sniffing around the border more now that we found the wolfsbane. Aiden says. That doesn't sit right with me. I say. That's what I said. They have been way more active. Murphy said they never come snooping around like this, so he is on edge. It doesn't help that he was nowhere to be seen in the 3 weeks that you were down. Anytime I would come to see you once I woke up, he was there. We had to burn the wolfsbane to get rid of it. It was bad. Aiden says. Well, good for him, but it still doesn't explain the increased rogue activity, I say. Aiden shifts in his seat and winces. I look at Aiden and raise an eyebrow. What's wrong with you? I ask. Nothing. Everyone in the room tenses up at the question. I can hear Aiden's pulse accelerate, and he looks down at his lap. Why are you lying to me? I ask. Adalyn, I'm not lying. Aiden gets up, but I can tell it puts him in pain. I grab his arm and yank him down into his seat. He lets out a growl, and I bare my teeth at him. What the hell happened? I yell. Everyone jumps and looks at me. Danny and Sam start to get up, and I growl at both of them, and they sit back down in their chairs. I can hear all of their hearts pounding in their chest. Someone wants to tell me the truth? I ask. Everyone is looking at each other, and I can tell they are communicating with each other through a mental link. Someone speak. I say, losing all patience I have left. If we tell you, you have to promise you won't get mad and do anything. Aiden says. Fine. I won't do anything. I promise. I say. Well, once I woke, Murphy and I got into it, arguing back and forth, and I guess I hit a nerve when I brought up the safety of you and the safety of his pack. He got angry and lashed out, and as you know, a wound from an alpha takes longer to heal. Aiden lifts his shirt and exposes a massive gash on his side. I'm going to shred him into a million pieces. I jump up and Aspen grabs my arm. You promised, Addie. Forget that. Murphy thinks he can do as he pleases. I will show him not to mess with my friends. I yank my arm out of Aspen's grasp. I storm out of the room, and I can hear shouting following me. I follow Murphy's scent to the gym. Eyes follow me as I enter. Adalyn. I hear my dad ask. I ignore him and tap Murphy on the shoulder. He turns around, and before anyone can react, I've sent Murphy across the room into a weight bench. Chapter 10. Murphy peels himself off the side of the bench and looks at me. His eyes flash, and I can feel his pack closing in towards me. He growls, and they all back away. He looks at me, searching for something. I growl, and I can tell it's making everyone uneasy. Most of the people in the room are from Murphy's pack and were present when I beat all the ugliness out of Olivia. What the hell was that for? He yells. So you like to beat on people, do you? I yell back. Like to take out your anger on people who don't deserve it? Like to beat the hell out of people for speaking the truth? Maybe if you were half the alpha your dad was, then maybe you wouldn't need another alpha to step in and save your neck. I look at him. Murphy looks taken aback. He stands in front of me, and I kick out again, but this time, he blocks me and holds me in place. I move out of his grip and slam my hand into the side of his face. I can tell I'm making him angry, but the anger already built up inside me is stopping any clear sense from getting through. I slam my fist into his stomach, making him drop to his knees. I knee him in the face, and I can hear the cracking from his nose. Murphy moves away from me, slams his fist into my stomach, and flips me onto the floor. His anger takes over, clouding his judgment as it has mine. I feel something wet trickle down from my cheek. I touch it with my fingers and pull them away. Blood coats my fingers. I look up at Murphy, and he growls. I slam my body into him, and we both tumble into the floor. Adalyn. Aspen yells. I tune him out and straddle Murphy. I go to bring my fist down, and I feel a hand grip my wrist and sling me off of Murphy. My body is weightless and airborne for a split second before I feel my body crashing into a solid wall. My breath is knocked out of my body. I lift my head and see Aspen standing next to Murphy. They both look at me, and I stand. I move my arm and hear a pop, and I look at Murphy. So you know about the fight? Murphy asks. A growl rips through my closed lips, and he looks at Aspen. Murphy pushes forward and makes his way towards me, but before he can get to me, Danny and Sam block his view of me. I move to get around the guys, but a growl rips through the room, stopping me in my tracks. Enough. I turn and almost let out a yelp. Murphy's dad stands at the door, looking at me and his son, shaking his head. I still swear to this day that he was a fool for leaving you and rejecting you. Alpha Michael looks at me and Murphy. Aspen moves toward me and touches my shoulder. Sorry, Alpha Michael. We didn't mean to let Addie find anything out, but she is something special. Addie here can get what she wants out of anyone she wants. Aspen says. She would have made my pack a lovely Luna, but I see she is now the Luna of your pack. Michael says. My dad steps inside the building next to Michael. Me and Aspen aren't together. I am a beta. I say, that's what you think. My dad says. I look at my dad, and Aspen looks down at me. Well, on to other things. Michael says. Why are you trying to kill my son? I thought y'all were good. He asks. Well, sir, you see, your son is a fool and thinks that it's okay to fight other people when they are expressing their opinion, even when it is the truth. He really should go and see someone about his problems. I say. Snickers erupt around the room, and Murphy turns 8 different shades of red. Murphy? His dad looks at him. Well, Dad, you see, I was in here minding my own business, and all of a sudden I am picked up in the air and thrown as if I weigh next to nothing. Murphy says. So you let this girl whoop your ass? Michael asks. More laughter fills the room, and Michael smiles. My dad hides his face as he laughs. Well, in his defense, sir, she is the kiss of death. Ned inputs. My dad raises his eyebrow and looks at me. I shake my head at the nickname. It started as a joke as soon as I started fighting. The what? My dad asks. Well, you see, Dad, when I first started fighting, I had a rogue get really close to me, and so I kissed him right before I snapped his neck. I did it as a distraction technique, and the name Kiss of Death kind of just stuck as a nickname of sorts between the three of us. I gestured between Aspen, Adalyn, and me. But the guys back home got wind of the nickname, and it became a sort of battle cry. I say. Dad nods, but doesn't say anything to me. Aspen looks at me and shakes his head. You didn't tell the whole story. He doesn't need to know the whole story, Aspen. He is your dad, Addie. Yeah, and my dad doesn't need to know his daughter is a monster and kissed a dying man because I had just killed his mate in front of him. You are not a monster. We both know that isn't true, Aspen. I enjoy the hunt. I enjoy watching the fear in their eyes as they know this is the end. You are not a monster. You are my Addie. I cut the mind link and smile at Aspen. I finish listening to Michael scold Murphy, but all I can think of is what Aspen had said and what Michael had told me and Aspen. I move out of the guys and make a break for the door. My feet find their way to the cemetery, and I sit next to Mom. Chapter 11, I miss you so much, Mom. I say. I look at the solid slab of marble. Feels like a cruel joke. Of all the things you could die from, and it was a cold. I look at the sky. It's so clear and blue. I don't get it. Why make us suffer? As soon as she took you, I was left behind, pushed aside. I was beat and ignored by Dad. He blames me for your death. I get I was sick before you, and I do blame myself, but did I deserve everything I got? I let out a frustrated sigh. It was never your fault. I jump and spin around. Dad lays the flowers he has in his hands on the grave. I never should have blamed you. I know it wasn't your fault, and instead of screaming at the goddess, I yelled at the one person I should have protected. I just could never understand why you treated me like you did. I can't face him. Dad sighs and sits down next to me. I was so angry. I couldn't figure it out. Why would she be taken from us when everything was going good? I couldn't blame the goddess. I wasn't able to yell at someone who wasn't there, and the irrational part of me blamed the only living person in my life. I watched you come home crying your eyes out, covered in dirt, scraped up. I saw you come home bleeding, and I blamed you. I said so many hurtful things to you. I let so many people hurt you. I let them see you as weak. Dad looks up at me, tears falling down his face. I wipe them away. It's okay, Dad. I was so angry with you. I couldn't figure it out. I was just always angry. I didn't understand, and when Murphy rejected me, it was the final straw. You know, like, why me? What did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve the humiliation and hate? Finding Aspen was one of the best things that happened to me. I made a bunch of friends, and they loved me. They treated me with respect. I say, Aspen loves you so much. Dad says, yeah, I'm lucky to have him as a friend. He is very dear to me. I say, now, Adalyn, I know you are smarter than that. Dad says, what? Nothing. I'll let you two figure it out. Dad laughs and shakes his head. So how have you been? I ask. I've been good. I've been really well, actually. I found my second chance mate. He says. I look at Dad, and I don't know why I didn't see it before, but he seems better. He looks alive and well-rested. Really? I am so happy for you. I hug Dad and look at the tombstone. She would want us to be happy. She would have wanted you to be happy and move on. She wants to meet you. Dad looks at me with so much joy in his eyes. When? Tonight. She is actually cooking right now. If you want to bring Aspen, you can. She cooks like she's feeding an army. Dad laughs. Well, in that case, I will bring her a small army. Let her know I have 6 hungry guys. Dad nods and laughs. She will be so happy. Dad stands and helps me up. I brush the dirt off my butt and stand. Be there in about 2 hours. Everything should be ready by then. Dad kisses my cheek and walks back towards his house. I turn one last time and look at Mom's grave. I love you, Mama, so much. Chapter 12, I open the front door and hear the guys running towards the door. I brace myself as the guys come bounding towards me. Danny and Sam grab me up and squeeze as hard as they can. Where have you been, you ass? Danny asks. With my father, and if you feel that way then I guess you can keep your ass here when we all go eat tonight. I retort. Don't do that to me, Adalyn. Danny whines. I shake my head and laugh at him. Don't worry, I won't let you starve. I walk past the boys as I make it to the staircase. Aspen was looking for you, Aiden says as he comes out of the kitchen, beer in hand. Well, let him know I am in my room if he wants to talk. I take the steps 2 at a time and make it to my room. I open the door and plug in my phone. I turn on the speaker and let the music fill the room. I dance around my room as I find something to wear tonight. I peel off my workout clothes and step into the shower, letting the hot water cascade over my body. I scrub my body and wash my hair. I turn the water off and dry myself off. I slip on my underwear and wrap my hair in the towel. I step out of the bathroom and almost have a heart attack. Well, shit, Aspen. I say. Sorry, Aiden said you were back. Aspen looks away from my body. I shake my head, look through my clothes, and find the outfit for the night. You looking amazing, Addie, Aspen says. I smile and shake my head. I finish putting my makeup on and throw my hair up into a bun. Oh, stop. I say, acting like a proper lady. Aspen shakes his head and laughs. I move to look at my phone and Aspen grabs me by my waist and pulls me into his lap. You know I have to talk to you about something, Aspen says. His hands touch my bare skin and it ignites my skin. I look at him and feel a pull I have only ever felt once before, when I found out Murphy was my mate. I look at Aspen and his eyes go wide. You feel it too? Aspen asks. I mean, Eve felt it for a while, but I didn't know who it was. Well, more like I didn't want to know who it was. I say, Addie, I know it is going to take some time to figure it out. I know it is going to take some time to even acknowledge it. Aspen says, I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to turn my back on you. I'm going to acknowledge it. How can I not? I mean, you are my best friend. You have been there for me. You are mine. You have always been mine. I kiss his cheek and leave him in my room. My head is spinning and I know his head is too. So how did the talk go? Aiden whispers in my ear. I turn and slap Aiden in his chest. He laughs and shakes his head. Were you eavesdropping? I raise an eyebrow. Maybe. He laughs and I shake my head and walk into the main hall. Are y'all ready? I yell out. In a matter of seconds, I'm surrounded by a bunch of guys. I open the door and walk down the gravel path towards my childhood home. The guys are hooting and hollering at each other. I walk up onto the porch of the house and knock. Dad smiles as he opens the doors and beckons the guys inside. I take a look at the front door and let out a breath as I enter the house. Chapter 13. The whole room is quiet when Dad and his mate come into the dining room. She is lovely, and her smile seems to brighten up the room. She sits down next to my dad and smiles at him. I can't help but compare her to my mom. The way she looks at Dad reminds me of the way Mom and Dad used to smile at each other. I can't help it. I feel my hand being squeezed, and I reassuringly smile at Aspen. He lets go of my hand and dives into his food. This is really good, Anna. My dad smiles. I take a bite of my mac and cheese and can't help but let out a sigh. All the guys look at me and laugh. They all shake their heads at me. Addie loves her some mac and cheese. It is one of her favorites. The first time we had mac and cheese when she came to us, she guarded the whole entire bowl for herself. Aiden says, I did not. I object. Oh please, Addie, we watched you almost stab Danny with your fork because he got too close to the bowl. Sam says, oh please. This is amazing, Anna. I smile at her. My mama would have just adored you. She looks at me and smiles. Thank you, Adalyn. She wipes her tears away from her eyes. Oh, don't cry. I mean that in a good way. You are the opposite of what has brought this house so much pain. You are a light that is so welcome. Anna looks at me and cries even more. I look at everyone and Dad is wiping tears from his eyes as well. We finish our plates with laughter and stories of childhood and war. I shake my head and watch as Dad and Anna smile and make small talk. I squeeze Aspen's hand, and he rubs his thumb over the back of my hand in circles. I feel myself slipping into contentment. The noise around the house makes me feel at home. It makes me feel like nothing ever happened, like it has always been good and nothing bad ever happened. I take my plate to the kitchen and make my way to the porch. The swing is still tucked away on the far end of the porch. I hear the front door open, and I don't look up. I can smell Anna as she walks towards me. She sits down next to me and hands me a bowl of homemade vanilla ice cream. I smile and dig into it. Adalyn, I just want you to know that I don't want to take your mom's memory from you or make you think that I want to take her place. Anna's voice shakes as she talks. I look up at her and smile. Anna, I know that. I want you to know I appreciate you. I have not seen him happy in a long time. I am so happy he found someone to love him and show him there is more to life than slowly dying day by day. I actually like the person that you brought out in my dad. I say. I take another bite of my ice cream. I don't know what to say. Anna says. I look at her and notice the tears falling down her face. I set the bowl of ice cream down on the table next to the swing. I wipe the tears from her eyes. I want to get to know you, Anna. I want to get to know the person who has made my dad so happy. I want to know how you took the man who had so much darkness in him and made it light again. Anna, you're a miracle, and I think Mama sent you to us. I know she did. She had to have because you are an angel, and I know the goddess helped send you our way. I say. Tears start to fall from my face. I also want someone to love me like she did. I feel the void every day, and I feel so dead when I think about how little time I had with my mom. I want a mother's love again. I say. Anna wipes my tears away and kisses my cheek. If you would let me, I would love to get to know you. I want to help you fill the void you feel. I want to help you, Adalyn. Anna smiles as I look at her. I would love that. She reaches across me and hands me my ice cream. She gets up and smiles at me. Hey, Anna. I call out. She stops before she opens the front door. Call me Addie. I say. She nods and walks into the house. I look at the yard and the lightning bugs and smile. I scarf the rest of my ice cream down and run to the door. Guys, let's catch lightning bugs. Chapter 14, all the guys look at me like I am crazy when I run upstairs to the closet in the hall and grab 3 mason jars. I hand Aiden, Aspen, and Danny one, and I head back outside. The bugs light up the night sky, making it look like a fairy world. Aspen looks at me and smiles as I run after the lightning bugs. I turn and look at the guys staring at me. What? I ask. We have never seen you so happy. Sam laughs. Never like this at least. Jack says. Yeah, I mean he looks so peaceful, it's nice. Aiden says. The guys start competing with each other to see who can catch the most lightning bugs. You seem happy. I hear Aspen say. I am. For once everything seems to be falling into place. I say. I'm happy for you. I smile at Aspen and chase after the guys. I continue to catch more bugs and fill up more than half of Aspen's jar. He put a few in there, but I did the majority of the work. The guys start fighting over each other's jars. I shake my head and catch another one. I jump up and down, run, and put it in Aspen's jar. I look, and the guys have finally started running around with me, catching the bugs. I see a few more and run back to Aspen. He is sitting on the porch steps. I put them in the jar and set them on the step next to Aspen. Dad and Anna turn on some music inside the house. I smile and shake my head. I pull Aspen up and onto the porch. When You Got a Good Thing by Lady Antebellum starts playing, I can't help but smile. Aspen pulls me close to him and begins to sway. I lay my head against his chest and we move back and forth. Aspen starts singing in my ear, making me feel like a puddle of emotion. So baby, hold on tight. Don't let go, hold on to the love we're making. 'Cause baby, when the ground starts shaking, you gotta know when you've got a good thing. You know you keep on bringing out the best of me. And I need you now even more than the air I breathe. I smile as we sway, listening to him sing. I lean my head up and look up at Aspen, and I see the man who had his heart broken because his mate died in his arms. The man who, despite it all, still helped me out even when he was breaking apart at the seams. This man is my second chance at love, and the man I can't help but fall in love with every day because he is the kindest man in the world. The way he cares so fiercely for his people and the people he loves. What are you thinking about? He asks. About how lucky I am to be surrounded by the people I love when it seems like this pack right here is falling apart. I say, I think they are lucky to have you. Aspen says. He kisses me on the top of my head. I smile at the shift in the songs, and I smile. I look at Aspen one last time, and I sway to the music, enjoying the feeling of being in his arms. I love the way I feel at home in his arms. I have always felt like Aspen was my home, and I have always been at peace with it. I let myself sway with him. I hear the guys roughhousing, and I look over Aspen's shoulder. I see Aiden on the phone, and by his expression, I know he is talking to Ansley. I tuck my head back into Aspen's shoulder and let the world fade away. This is perfect, I whisper. That it is. Aspen says. I smile and close my eyes as we continue to sway with the music. The air and the moonlight make this one of the best nights I've had in a long time. Chapter 15 Murphy's PV. The whole fight with Adalyn left me so vacant that I wanted to find her and apologize for my actions against Aiden, but the look on Aspen's face when she took off told me everything I needed to know. I had to let her go, and it pained me. I loved her, and I know I shouldn't feel like that anymore. I shouldn't be allowed to. I rejected her and made her feel unwanted, and Aspen saved her. Hey, Murphy. I look up, and Ned is sitting with a lot of the guys from the gym. They were all laughing about something Ned had said before seeing me. Hey, Ned. I look at the guys, and they can't take their eyes off my face. I get it, guys. Can we move on from the fact I haven't completely healed yet? I say, crossing my arms. The guys shake their heads and look at me with a smirk. She starts training us tomorrow. Aiden is going back to be with his mate. Ned says. Well, at least you know she is capable. I say. The guys start to talk among themselves, and I can't be bothered by their conversation. I make my rounds and stop near Luke's house when I hear laughter. I watch as the guys all mess with each other as they try to grab jars out of each other's hands, only to get distracted by something on the porch. Adalyn is in Aspen's arms, swaying to the music, and for some reason, it doesn't hurt like I thought it would. I don't hurt like I thought I would. Seeing them together makes me long for someone who would love me unconditionally, like Aspen loves Adalyn. I tear my gaze away from them and head towards my house. The entire day feels like something from a movie, where everything comes crashing down on the hero, and he is at his make-or break, except I'm no hero. I am nothing like a hero. I'd like to believe I am, but I know that is a fool's errand. I am nothing like a hero. I open my door and enter the dark house. Chapter 16 The morning sun makes the fog near the open field look like 1,000 ghosts swarming, ready to kill. I sit on the ground, tracing the flowers on my stomach and the flowers on my leg. I close my eyes and remember the pain I went through to get this tattoo, the fire and branding I had to go through to get the pattern to stay on my skin. I lift my fingers and smile as I see Danny and Sam messing around as they make their way to me. I stand up and brush myself off. So, everyone is on their way, including Murphy. He wants to watch you and see what all you teach them. Danny says. Aiden said he would call you when he gets back. Sam looks at me with a saddened smile. It's fine. He missed his mate. I don't know why he volunteered to come along when he knew I was coming. I say. He knew seeing Murphy might mess with your head, and he didn't want to leave his best friend to deal with it on your own. Jack pipes up. Well, it didn't. I say. No, you're our hero, Danny says. Jason runs up and tackles Jack to the ground and laughs when Jack squeals like a little girl. I fall to my knees, holding my stomach in laughter. I stand back up and look at Jason. It's not funny, Addie. Jason gets up and wipes himself off. Well, the whole scream sure as hell was funny. I mean, you nailed the whole girl screaming thing, I laugh. Jason looks at me and then full-on tackles me to the ground. I let out a huff as I hit the ground. Take it back, he yells. I look at Jason and keep laughing at him. Damn it, Addie, take it back. I laugh even harder. I hear talking and I elbow Jason in the ribs. He grips my arm and I spin around and smack him in the back of the leg, and he falls. I grip his arm and pull it behind his back. Now apologize. I say, sorry, Addie. I laugh and let his arm go. The field starts to fill up with people as I move away from Jason. Addie, you didn't hurt Jason, did you? I turn around, and Aspen is looking at me. No, I would never hurt Jason. I say. Aspen shakes his head and looks at the guys. I shake my head and move towards where the others have gathered. All right, everyone shut up and pay attention. I yell. The entire field goes completely quiet. Good. All right, so in the time I was out, Aiden said he worked on cardio, but that's bullshit. I don't need you knowing how to run from them. I want you to fight. Running is important, don't get me wrong, but knowing how to kill them and stand is also a great asset. So basically, you want us to be mindless killers. A girl pipes up. Yeah, just like her. The girl next to her whispers. Aspen looks at me, and the guys move in tighter. I move away from the guys and closer to the girl who decided to crack some jokes. What's your name? I ask. Mary. The girl says. She looks at her friend and laughs. And your friend's name? I ask. Ella. She says. Well, I'm not a mindless killer. I kill to protect my alpha. I am loyal to the ones I love. I say. You're not loyal. You ran from this pack. Ella says. I didn't run from the pack. I say. Yes, you did. As soon as you were rejected, you ran as fast as you could away from here. Mary says. I can hear the blood rushing in my ears. I look at the girls and I close my eyes. You don't know what it's like. When you are rejected, it's like everything in you dies. It's like nothing matters. You feel like the goddess has made a mistake, and why would she let you get paired with someone so cruel? I say. I look up and catch Murphy's eyes and feel awful, but I keep talking. Your world comes crashing down, and it's like the air around you is filled with toxic gas, and you can't breathe, and the only thing you can do is either agree with the rejection or die fighting it. It's one of those things where you either run or die. I say. Everyone is looking at me as I look at Mary and Ella. I shake my head and close my eyes. I will show you how a rogue fights. I say. I look at the crowd of people. Who wants to volunteer? I ask. No one steps forward, and I hear someone moving through the crowd. Murphy stands next to Ella and Mary, and he pushes Mary forward. I think she wants to, Murphy says. Mary looks at me with wide eyes and takes a step forward. A rogue doesn't think with its mind like we do. I say. They want to cause the most amount of damage possible without getting themselves killed. A rogue is about themselves. They want to be respected amongst themselves. They don't fear dying. They don't want to die, but they don't fear it. I say. Everyone is looking at me as I talk. Mary looks at me with scared eyes. Her eyes follow my every move, jumping as I move around. I watch Mary and jump at her. She lets out a startled scream, and I pin her to the ground. Never let your guard down. They are looking for your weaknesses. I say. I move and let Mary get up. I move around the group and pin a few people before they realize what is going on. Don't be scared to hit a girl. They may be what stands between you and your mate. I say to a guy I just pinned. This is your life. Use what you can to protect yourself. I'm only here for a week, and then it is up to you to be the best you can be. I say. You are the final line between them and the ones you love. One thing that is going to sound crazy is don't fight for your alpha. Fight for the people you love. The people at home who want you to come back home. As bad as it is to say, there will always be someone to become the alpha, but your family is one of a kind. I say. That sounds harsh. Mary says. It does. I get the alpha is one person, but you also have to protect the ones you love with your life. I say. But you protect your alpha. We've heard the stories about you. Ella says. I protect Aspen because I love him. He is someone who I would gladly give my life for, and that's not because he is my alpha. I say. They all nod and look at me with understanding on their faces. Pair up and spar, try to catch your partner off guard. The more times you can do it, the better it will be for you, I say. Everyone pairs up and starts sparring. I walk around, adjusting where I can, and I see the potential in these people to be great, just like this pack used to be. Chapter 17. I lay on the grass, watching the retreating figures out of the corners of my eyes. I tilt my head back and watch the sky above me change colors. The blue turns pink, and the white clouds change to orange. It's peaceful in its own right. There is something about the sky that is so freeing, almost like being on the back of my bike. Adalyn. I turn my head and look at the person talking. Murphy sits down next to me and pulls at the grass in front of him. Murphy. I nod. What can I do for you? I ask as I sit up. I'm sorry. He says. For what? I ask. I didn't know how I made you feel when I rejected you. I mean, I knew it hurt you. I knew it was going to hurt me, but I didn't know the magnitude it hurt you on. He says. As I look at Murphy, I see a person who is broken yet vulnerable. He looks at me as he talks. Murphy, I know we've talked about this. I say. No, not what I want to say. He looks at me, and something in his eyes makes me stop trying to talk him out of whatever he is about to say. Last night I was walking around after you beat the holy hell out of me. I was thinking about what life would have been like with you by my side, and the funny thing is, I couldn't. When I see you and Aspen, I just know that is where you were meant to be. I was never meant to have you. I feel like everything happened just as the goddess wanted. I know I hurt you, and I have no right to say anything to you, but I wanted you to know all of this. He says. Last night when I was walking around the houses, I heard the music coming from your dad's house and you and Aspen dancing, and I expected it to hurt like hell, and it didn't. I don't know why it didn't hurt or why I was okay with what I was seeing, but I was. In that moment, I was okay with the way things turned out, and I also am happy I got to see you again to try and make amends. The whole thing was honestly eating me alive. He looks at me with some clarity in his eyes. All I want now is for you to be happy and for you and Aspen to be able to live your life with so much happiness, because if anyone here deserves it, it is you. The person who took so much shit off of so many people to only rise above it all and come out stronger. You deserve to be happy and live somewhere where the people have nothing but unconditional love for you. I am just happy that you found that place, even if it isn't with me. Murphy says. Tears fall down my face and I can't stop them. Murphy. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. He says. No. Murphy, you deserve happiness and I will always love you regardless of how things went. You will find someone who will make you so happy you forget all about me. She will be something I'm not able to be. I say. I hear leaves crunching and I see Aspen standing near me and Murphy. She will bring your entire world to a standstill and you will not know how to breathe without her. She will consume you in the best ways. She will be your perfect half, or he will be your perfect half, but I know we were never meant for each other. But we were paired to teach each other a lesson. Whoever she or he is, I hope they make you happy. I stand up, kiss his cheek, and look at Aspen. You will be a great Alpha Murphy. Just let yourself feel something more than what you are allowing. Chapter 18. The following days were challenging work for everyone. They each have come a long way, and the girls have proven themselves. They are a lot stronger than when I first started working with them. Anna smiles at me as Dad and Alpha Michael look at the group. Aspen is talking to my dad, and Anna has a smile on her face, making me nervous. I continue fixing forms and am looking around the group for the best, and surprisingly, it is Ned. Hey, Ned, come here. I call out. He walks towards me and looks down. Yeah, Adalyn? He asks. We are leaving in a day, and I want you to take over these classes. You are the best. You were never bad when we all trained. I remember that much. I say, I'm nowhere as good as you and Murphy. He says, yes, you are, and they will follow you. They need someone who understands what they are thinking and what they are feeling. Murphy is busy trying to get allies, and we both know he won't have the time to train them every day. And if someone doesn't, they will let all of this go to waste. I say, I'm still not sure how good I am going to be, but I will try. Ned says, you're going to do wonders. I say, I hope you are right. He says, I am. He rejoins the group as they finish sparring, and I stop everyone from leaving. So, it's no secret that we are leaving in a day, and that these classes would be up for grabs, but Ned is going to take over. He is the best chance you have at a leader within this training session. I am so proud of the advancement you all have made in a matter of a week. I am so happy to see the improvement and skills you all have made with each other. The teamwork you all have is second to none. If they attack again, you will not have to worry. They will be worried about you all. I say, They all nod and pat Ned on the back, praising him as they all head home and to their night shifts. Addie, Aspen yells after me. I look up and smile. We have to take care of some final things before we head home. I look at him, and he smiles at me. What final things? I ask. You'll see. He kisses my forehead and pulls me along to meet Anna and Dad at the top of the hill. Chapter 19. Anna smiles at me as we meet them at the top of the hill. I smile back at her and she pulls me into a hug. They looked so good. They're ready for anything, she says. I sure hope so. I shake my head and follow everyone back towards Dad's house. Anna loops her arm through mine and pulls me along inside the home. We pass the kitchen, heading straight for her room. So I went through your things and brought over an outfit. I know you didn't want to have to wear workout gear to your dinner, Anna says. I don't get why Alpha Michael is making such a big deal about us leaving. I say. I pick up the clothes and walk into the bathroom. It's not that big of a deal, Addie. He is just thanking you. I mean, we all know Murphy wasn't going to do it, so he stepped up and did it, Anna says. I strip off all my sweaty clothes and step into the shower. The warm water washes all the sweat off my body. I grab a rag and cleanse my body, listening to Anna singing in her room. I finish up and wrap a towel around my body. I crack the door to hear Anna. Why even put in the effort? I mean, me and Murphy have put everything behind us, and there's no point in trying to do anything about it. I'm happy with Aspen. I say. We all know you're happy with Aspen. Even Michael said something about it. Anna says. Really? I ask. Really? Everyone can see the way you two look at each other, even before you felt the connection. You are fiercely protective of each other. Like when Murphy tried talking to you in the beginning, you could see how much it pained Aspen at the idea of you finding your way back to Murphy, but he let you go because he loves you. The way you two react to one another is the way people who are genuinely in love with each other act. Like the night out in the yard when you all were dancing. I bet you didn't notice Murphy was there. Anna looks at me as I pull the shirt on. No, I didn't notice he was there. I say, because the only thing that mattered to you was Aspen in that moment. Anna says, I guess you're right. I put my earrings in and finish my outfit. I open my phone and go to Pinterest, looking for hair ideas. I finally find one and I look at Anna. Can you do this? I ask. She nods and smiles at me. When she's done, I smile and look at the completed look in her mirror. Thank you. Not a problem, but we better go before the guys come after us. I nod and follow her down the stairs. About time. I hear all the guys grumbling. Well, I don't want to look like a potato. Thank you very much. I say. Jack looks at Danny, and they start laughing. I stick my tongue out at them, and I feel an arm snake around my waist, and I look up at Aspen. You never look like a potato, he says. Now who's lying? I say. He laughs and kisses the side of my head. All right, let's go before they send a search party for us, Sam says. Dad nods, and we start for the pack house. Chapter 20. The dining hall looks like something out of a fairy tale, and it makes me pinch myself to make sure that I am awake and not in a dream. I settle down in my seat between Sam and Aspen. Murphy and Michael are seated at the top of the table as the rest of us filter in the middle, with Dad and Ned at the bottom. I chow down on my mac and cheese as everyone else eats the steak. Priorities. So, Aspen, any big plans for when you get home? Michael asks. Not at the moment, but you never know, Aspen says. And what about you, Adalyn? Michael asks. I'm a fighter. I will continue to do what I was doing, and that is patrolling and making sure that Aspen is safe. I say, but you are his mate, are you not? Michael asks, confused. I am. I say, so wouldn't you be marked and take up duties as a Luna? Michael asks. We haven't talked about marking, and as far as I'm concerned, I was already doing that before. I make sure everything runs smoothly. I say, what about Aspen's other mate? Michael presses. I open my mouth, but Aspen beats me to it. She died of cancer almost a year ago. My sister and Addie were the ones taking on that role. Addie is a natural Luna. She was born to be a leader of sorts, and as far as marking goes, I won't do that until she is ready. As far as anyone is concerned, they touch my mate and I will kill them, no questions asked. Aspen says. Seems dangerous to leave her unmarked. Michael says. Well, I can take care of myself. I have never had the problem before now, so why should it be a problem now? I ask. Well, you're one of a kind, Adalyn, and that is very valuable, especially during a time of war where you can be used as leverage. Michael says. I ball my fist up and feel the anger rising to the surface quickly. Dad, enough. Murphy says. She is with Aspen, and he isn't going to let anyone take her. She is safe. Adalyn is also very capable of taking care of herself. Murphy finishes. Was just asking. Michael throws his hands up in defense. More like prying, Dad. Murphy huffs and finishes eating. The rest of the meal is quiet and awkward. I finish off my plate, and one of the people from the kitchen comes by and clears my plate. Alpha Murphy, I have a request. My dad speaks up. Yes. He looks at my dad and Anna. We would like to join Adalyn and Aspen as they journey home. She is my only daughter, after all, and if it is all right, I would like to join Aspen's pack. I look at Dad, eyes wide. Is this what you truly want? Murphy asks. It is. I have missed enough of her life already. Dad says. I agree. Murphy says. He looks at me and nods. Alpha Murphy. Finn speaks up. Yes. I look at Finn and he looks at Ned. I have found my mate here. Finn says. Ned smiles and looks away, almost like he is embarrassed to be in front of everyone. I smile and look at Finn. Who? Murphy asks, surprised. Ned. The whole room goes quiet, and no one can help but let the smiles spread across their faces. If you would have me, I would like to join your pack. I've already talked to Aspen, and he agrees that he doesn't want to take me away from my mate. Finn says. He has a huge blush across his face, making him appear tomato-like. Yes, it's about time Ned finds his mate. Maybe he will stop sulking about and actually enjoy life. Murphy laughs. Ned is redder than Finn. I do not sulk. He defends. Yes, you do, babe, but it is okay. Finn kisses Ned, and everyone smiles even wider. So adorable. I say. Finn looks at me and shakes his head. Don't worry, Finn. I'm getting you back for everything you've ever done to me. I say. Finn looks at me wide-eyed and almost scared. I laugh and lean against Aspen. Well, this seems almost fair, Aspen says. I smile and look at Murphy. He appears happy, but his eyes reveal a deep-seated sadness. Well, now that all of that is out of the way, let's drink to good fortune. Murphy says. I raise my glass of wine and take a sip. Maybe we can all be happy. Chapter 21. The night is so clear it is almost hypnotic. I close my eyes and listen to the crickets chirping and the guys laughing at each other. It is peaceful. The flames coming from the fire pit in the main yard are glowing. I reach into the cooler and grab my drink. I follow the gravel path towards the fire pit. I feel someone come up behind me, and I tense up but relax when I turn around. Aspen is looking at me and smiling. I see you have your mic. Aspen says. Yes, I do, I say. He laughs and laces his hand with mine, walking with me to the guys. Murphy, Finn, Ned, Jason, Jack, Sam, and Danny are all laughing, looking at each other and goofing off. Aspen sits down and pulls me onto his lap. I lift the glass to my lips and let the liquid slide down my throat. How do you drink those fruity drinks? Murphy asks. It tastes like Mountain Dew to me. I say. There's barely any alcohol in it. Murphy says. Exactly. So it takes like 4 times as long to get anywhere near tipsy. I say. The guys look at me and laugh. So what about you, Aspen? Murphy asks. I don't drink. He says. Why not? Ned asks. He likes to be on his best game. I mean, he will drink, but not as much as me and the boys throw down, but don't let that fool you. He can drink anyone under the table. I say. Aspen shakes his head at me, and I stick my tongue out at him. I finish my drink and toss it into the fire. The heat from the fire makes my face heat up. I turn my face away from everyone and look at Aspen. He smiles and kisses the tip of my nose. Your face is so red. Aspen laughs. It's from the fire, I say. I cross my arms and lean back away from him, and he smiles even wider. "Well, you look adorable," he says. "Thank you. So how long did you know that Dad and Anna wanted to join our pack?" I ask. "Just since before we went to the house for you to get ready." "And our pack?" he asks. I look away from Aspen, my face. The heat that had finally left my face had come back. It's cute. I mean, I didn't know you thought of it as our pack, but I like it. Aspen says, his voice raised. "Shoo," I say. He looks at me and starts laughing, which gets the attention of everyone. I look at him, and he has this look in his eyes, and I can tell it means he is up to no good. What I mean, it's only natural. I cut him off by slamming my lips to his. The feeling of his lips on mine makes me feel like Jell-O. He feels like home, and when I am in his arms, I am safe. I pull away from his lips, and he looks at me. His eyes are clouded. "I'm sorry." He cuts me off by slamming his lips to mine. I can hear the catcalls and the whistles, but at this point, I don't care. My hands slide up around his neck to pull myself closer to him. I can feel myself losing breath, and we pull away from each other. His eyes stare into my soul. He pecks me on the lips one last time, and I feel like I'm on cloud 9. "Well, that took a lot less time than I thought it would for them to kiss publicly," Jason says. Danny nods in agreement, laughing and falling over in laughter. All I can do is look at Aspen and ignore the guys that are around us. Chapter 22, I wake up to screaming and howling. I look around the room and realize I am in my room, still fully clothed from last night. I jump up, pull on my boots, and sprint out the door. As I make it through the door, I am knocked down and I hear growling. I turn and realize it's a rogue. I leap off the porch and narrowly miss the wolf. I roll across the ground, tearing my jeans and skinning my arm in the process. All around me, people are dropping like flies on both sides. I make my way through the fighting, heading toward the pack house. "Anyone? Addie? Aspen? What the hell happened?" "They got through early this morning," Finn says through the bond. "How did no one know?" I yell as I dodge another rogue. "I don't know. I mean, the patrol didn't pick anything up until it was too late. They only picked up a human scent right before the first attack." Danny pipes up. "They have humans as their shields. There is no way to prepare anyone for such an experience." The rogues are getting bolder. They are working together. They might as well be a pack, I say. I grab the rope closest to me and snap their legs, making them whimper in pain. The pack house comes into view, and my heart stops in my chest. It is in flames, and all I can hear is screaming. The screams of the children make me want to vomit all over the yard. "The pack house," I say. "Addie, don't. It's too dangerous," Aspen says. "I have to." I bolt into the house, looking for the kids. I can hear the children's cries upstairs. The entire house is filling with smoke, and I can listen to the boards creaking as the fire spreads throughout the home. "Hello," I yell. "In here." I touch the doorknob and jerk my hand away. I can smell the burnt flesh, and it makes my nose scrunch up. I look around for anything, coughing as smoke pools out of the room. I pull my shirt up, covering my nose and mouth. I kick the door in and see 2 little girls sitting in the room, huddled together, crying. "Come on, girls." I extend my hands out to them and hold them close to my chest. I look around the hall, but I can't see an exit. The only way out is through the window. I run to the door, keeping the girls close to me. I throw the windows open and look around for something. The pool is almost directly below me. "All right, girls, I'm going to drop you in, and I'll be down after I finish checking the house," I say. "No, please." The most petite girl clutches me tightly. "Nothing is going to happen to you, I promise. I won't let anyone hurt you." I'm dropping 2 girls in the pool. "Be there when they hit the water and get them out," I say. "I will, but I also need you to get out of here, Addie. I can't lose you too." "I don't think I can handle losing another mate," Aspen says. "I won't leave you here by yourself." I don't say anything else for fear that I might not be able to keep any more promises. I turn away after I see Aspen get them from the pool. I can hear more screaming, and they sound like they are in pain. I open every door, checking every room I come across. The last room is in front of me, and as soon as I open the door, I let out a scream. The bodies within are so badly burnt, and they look like a dripping, oozing mess. I cover my nose and make it down the stairs, coughing. I burst out of the house just in time for the house to go up in flames. I turn around and face a whole other hell. Chapter 23. The entire Packland looks like a war-torn country. Wolves lie scattered around, naked and dead, while others huddle together, comforting the ones who have lost the people they love. I look around frantically, searching for my loved ones. I spin around in circles, knowing I must look like a complete idiot. Addie. I turn around, and Aspen is looking at me with so much panic in his eyes. I look at Aspen and run towards him, throwing myself at him. I look at him and slam my lips on his. It feels like one of those cliché romance novels, and I can't help but smile into the kiss. I pull away and look at him. I told you I would come back. I say. That you did. He laughs slightly, and I look around, feeling guilty for feeling any sort of happiness. I look around once more, searching for more people, but see no one. I turn and stop. I can feel my body going rigid. What is it, Addie? Aspen asks. Someone is in the bushes. I move towards the body. Aspen looks at me, and I motion for him to come up on the flank. He nods, and we close in on the person. When I get close, I step on a branch, and it snaps. The body jerks, and a pair of scared blue eyes stare up at me. She's just a human. I say. Aspen looks back at the girl. How has no one noticed her presence? She is covered in wolfsbane. I say. How can you tell? Aspen asks. I lay a hand on her shoulder and jerk my hand back. That's how. Aspen shakes his head. What are you? She yells. She jumps up with a small pocket knife close to her body. Careful now. I say. My voice is low enough to let on I'm not playing stupid games. I'm not scared of you. She says. Very high-spirited. I say. I try to get closer, and she lashes out again. I feel the blade make contact with my arm. I look down at the slash on my arm, then back at her. She looks at me and drops the knife. I'm sorry, she yells. She drops down in a fetal position on the ground. I look at my arm and watch as it closes back up almost instantly. Hey, it's fine. I heal. I say. I drop down next to her frightened body, trying to come off less threatening. How did you get on here? She looks up and points at the fallen rogues. They came through a town about 2 months ago and took me, trying to get their Alpha to cooperate. Well, the Alpha refused, and they took me with them. She says. How do you know so much about our world? I ask. My parents are one of the few that protect the secret. She looks down at her hands. How have we not heard of a missing human, especially if she is in the family of a protector? I ask. I mean, it could have been brought to the attention of the Alphas in the surrounding area, but after a while, they usually kill the human they are harboring or turn them, so they may have thought it wasn't worth it. Aspen says. Well, that's bullshit. I say. Addie, it's how things are. Aspen says. I'm going to help you up and take you to the house my pack is staying in. I will make sure we get a hold of your parents and the Alpha in the area and let them know you are okay. I stretch out my hand, and she takes it. You know where I will be. I say to Aspen. Chapter 24. Once we make it to the house, I bring her up the stairs to my room. She sits down on the bed and looks at me. I open the bathroom door and wet a washcloth. My name is Tony Reyes. She looks at me as I walk closer to her. I hold out the rag, and she takes it from me, wiping the dirt and wolfbane from her skin. Well, I'm Adalyn Carter, but everyone calls me Addie, I say. I've heard of you. Figured you were a story the wolves tell their children when they are growing up, she says. Nope, that's what most people say when they meet me. That or they underestimate me, and it never turns out well for them, I laugh. Tony, I have some spare clothes if you'd like to get a shower, I say. She nods, and I show her everything in the bathroom. Once the water starts, I head back down the stairs to give her privacy. The living room resembles a medical tent. People are scattered all over the living room, covered in blood, some still trying to heal from the wounds they obtained in battle. Others are breaking the news to their loved ones. Dad and Anna stand in the corner, helping entertain the kids, who are crying and still freaked out from the attacks. Addie. I turn and notice Olivia standing in the corner, blood covering her body. Are you okay? I ask. I am, but Mary, she isn't. They killed her. They just tore her apart. She was trying to protect me. I was too proud to attend the classes, and she died trying to protect me, Olivia cries. Hey, it's not your fault. I'm sure Ella is worried sick about you. She's in the living room with the others, I say. She nods and leaves me in the kitchen by myself. I open the fridge, grab 2 waters and an apple, and head back up the stairs. As I'm walking in, Tony is walking out of the bathroom. I brought you some water and an apple. Figured you'd need something to get your strength up, I say. Thank you, she says, biting into the apple and looking at me. So, I guess you want to know where I'm from? I am, but I wanted to let you get some strength before I started with the questions. I wanted you to want to tell me. I promise not to push if you don't want to answer, I say. You're much kinder than a lot of the wolves I've met, she says. I know how it feels to be on the other side, I say. What do you mean? She asks. How about this? You can ask a question and I'll answer, then you can ask another, I say. She nods. Okay. So, was the Alpha in your territory? I ask. Alpha Sam Torin, she says. What did you mean by other side? I used to be beta to this pack, but no one treated me as such. They treated me like I was nothing. I was gum stuck to their shoe. My mate was Alpha Murphy, but he rejected me, so I left, I say. Why did they take you? I ask. I used to date Sam's son Adam. I guess they thought they could use me as leverage. Why did Murphy reject you? She asks. Honestly, I don't think we were ever right for each other. In him rejecting me, I found my mate, I say. Do you know who you are? Travis Redden. As soon as the name leaves her lips, I feel my blood run cold. It's like the entire room is an icebox. Do you hate Murphy? She asks. No, I don't. I love him, but not like I would have with the mate bond. I hope he finds his second chance mate. He deserves someone who will love him, faults and all. I know we were never meant to be together. We were just a catalyst to find our real mates, I say. He sounds like something else, she says. I laugh and nod. That he is, I say. Tony yawns and stretches, trying to wake herself up. Lay down, and when we all talk, I'll come get you. No one will hurt you here, I promise, I say. Thank you for being so kind to me, Addie, she says. Not even a problem, I say. I close the door, leaving her to get some sleep. Now to deal with this mess, I say. Chapter 25. So Travis Redden has come back to bite us in the ass. Quite literally, Murphy says. Son, it isn't that big of a deal, Michael says. With all due respect, sir, this is a big problem. It's not like the regular rogues we deal with. This one wants the packs that had something to do with his banishment to burn. And I would say he is taking it quite literally, I say. Well, I can try to talk to the other alphas, Michael says. It's not going to make a difference, Mike. He has an agenda, and from what the girl says, he is going to watch them all fall, Dad says. He already went after Sam. They killed his son about a year ago to prove a point. I just don't know why it took so long for us to realize it was this crazy lunatic, Dad says. Has anyone heard from Eddard or Grant? Michael asks. Not in a while. I went to see Grant when Addie got sick from the wolfsbane, and I came back. I never really got to discuss anything further with him. He told me the attacks were kind of centralized to the pack house when they did attack. They didn't really mess with the kids or women, but apparently, he is becoming brazen or desperate, which makes him dangerous, Aspen says. No one says anything. The room is quiet. Dad is looking at Michael, and they seem to be having a conversation through a closed link. Hey, let's talk where the rest of us can hear. I yell. Mind your tone, Adalyn, Michael scolds. Please, you are the reason your son is in this mess. Speak up if you don't want to tell us what you're talking about, then I'm going home and not going to bat an eye when this pack burns, I say. Michael growls, and I jump up. You don't get that right. I had to watch a woman and her kids burn in the pack house because of the choices you made when you were Alpha. Each of you should have known that this was going to come back at each of you. It should have been death. That is the penalty for the crime of turning humans now. We don't banish anymore because we all know that if it backfires. I yell. Each Alpha has something they regret when they are on the throne. It's not as easy as you think. It makes you go crazy, Michael says. I slam my hands on the table and scream. It's not the time to try and reason with your choices. Do we have any of his family we can use against him? I ask. Well, Dad says. Well, what? I ask. His wife is still on Pac lands. She is the reason we didn't kill him. She was with child at the time, and no one wanted to add any stress to a pregnant woman, Dad says. So we use her and the kid as leverage? I ask. That's the thing, Dad says. His daughter is another matter in itself, Michael says. Who's his daughter? Murphy asks. Olivia. I look at Dad and start laughing. Great, I say. I let my head fall against the table. Just when things were getting simple, something else had to go and mess it up. I can't believe this. I let my head fall against the table again. Would you stop? You're going to cause some serious damage, Aspen says. We are royally messed up, Murphy says. That we are, I nod in agreement. The door opens and Tony enters the room. Tony, is everything okay? I ask. I dash. She goes to say something, but Murphy jumps up and stops her. Mine. Chapter 26. The room is quiet as Murphy jumps up and knocks on the table. Tony looks at me and scoots closer to me. Addie, she whispers. Murphy. I yell. You're scaring her. Murphy looks at Tony and back at me, then backs off. I'm sorry, he grumbles and sits down. So this is the girl who was taken from Torrance Packland? Dad says. Yes, and she has answered enough questions. Adalyn, your tone is starting to piss me off, Michael says. You will not talk to my mate like that, Aspen says. She is on my territory. I will speak to her how I please. Michael looks at Aspen with narrowed eyes. She is on my territory, Father, and the day you stepped down, this stopped being your pack. You will not talk to Addie like that, and you will not be questioning my mate. Murphy looks at his dad and back at the rest of us. Tony looks around and stands closer to me. All right, I think this is enough for today. When we gather more information, we will let each of you know, Murphy says. His dad looks like he could slam all of our heads together. He gets up, and my dad follows him out the door. I slide down and allow Tony to take my chair. So, do you really think he wants to take each of these alphas out? I ask. Finn looks at me, and Ned puts his hand on Finn's arm. I really do, I say. He wants the alphas to suffer. It only makes sense to go after the pack, but that doesn't make sense here because Michael is no longer alpha. Wouldn't it make more sense to go after Murphy? I ask. I guess, but Michael put his pack above all, I say. Even me. Murphy looks at his hands and then at me. I mean, it's no secret. I did a lot of the rebellious stuff just to get attention, but it only landed me in a mess. Still, it was attention. I mean, that's no excuse, but it also explains why the pack. Well, on that note, I'm going back to my dad's. Tony, you can have the room here if you want it, I say. Aspen gets up and kisses the side of my head before threading his fingers with mine. Addie. Tony looks at me with scared eyes. I look at Murphy and back at her. I'll meet you outside. Let me talk to Tony. Aspen nods and leaves the room. Finn and Ned get the hint and follow Aspen. Give Murphy a chance. I know it may seem scary, but a wolf's mate is his everything. They would die before they let someone touch them, I say. Not the case with you, she says. I can see Murphy flinch. And as I told you, we were a catalyst for each other, so we could meet the person we were supposed to be with. Tony, Murphy stands hesitantly. I think you've got this from here. I'm going to go see my mate and be with the rest of my pack. Tony nods and looks back at Murphy. This will be an interesting match. I think of shutting the door behind me. Chapter 27. I lay on my bed and lean up against Aspen. My laptop is sitting on my raised legs. I scroll through the media, looking for anything connected to Travis Redden. I feel Aspen's hand brush my neck. You look so determined, Aspen says. I want to find this guy, I say, my fingers sweeping across the keyboard and my eyes scanning the pages that keep popping up. Aspen moves closer to me and places his lips on my neck. He trails his lips gently down my neck, and I try to keep my eyes focused on the computer. He pulls back slightly and looks at me. Want me to stop? He asks. Aspen, you stop now and I'm throwing you out. No question about that, I say. He laughs and takes the computer from me. He sets it down on the floor and flips me over so I am lying flat on my back. Aspen hovers over me and kisses my lips. I close my eyes and pull him closer. He pulls away and looks at me with a smile on his face. What? It just seems so weird, he says, looking at me. What's that? Right now, this moment seems so normal, like we don't have a storm waiting for us outside the door, he says. Yeah, but I don't think I want to think about that right now, I say. I lean up and kiss him, pulling him back to me. The kisses grow increasingly passionate. I need to change into something more comfortable, I say. I move away, taking off my shirt and smiling as I stand before him. Like what you see, darling, he asks. Maybe, I say. I sit up, and he pulls my shirt off, leaving me in nothing but my pajama bottoms. I cross my arms over my chest. Don't hide from me, he says as he kisses my lips gently. I uncross my arms, and I can hear his breathing pick up. I laugh nervously. Don't be nervous, my love. I won't hurt you, he says. I nod. I reach up and pull his belt through the loops. I run my hand across the top of his jeans. Goosebumps rise across his skin. Don't be nervous, love, I say. I kiss down his torso and stop at the top of his jeans. I unbutton his pants and slide them down his legs. Is everything all right? I ask. Yeah, he says softly. I think I've got this, I say. I stand and head toward the bathroom, a playful smile on my face. Ready for the next step? I ask, looking back at him. He gives me a smile, and I throw him a wink before heading inside. Chapter 28, Addie. I look up, and Tony is smiling at me. I can see Murphy not far behind him with a smile on his face. So I see everything went well. I say, yeah, we talked about a lot of things last night, Tony says. Murphy sits down, and Tony sits down on his lap. Didn't take long for y'all to figure you two wanted. She was very much resistant for the longest time. It wasn't easy. She wanted very much to walk away to your place. Murphy says, but he looks at my neck and shakes his head. But I guess that wouldn't have been wise. Tony looks at me and then at my neck, and her eyes go wide. I can't help but pull my braid around to cover my neck. Looks like you had a good productive night. Tony laughs. Well, now that this is awkward, I think I'm going to find Aspen. I say. I grab the sketchbook and my pouch and slide off the railing. Actually, you're not looking for him. Tony says. Finn and Jason walk up with a smile on their faces. What the hell is going on? I ask. Aspen wants us to keep you company while he gets some things in order. Jason says. All right, well then, let's go back to my dad. I'm hungry, and I want to get out of these jeans. I say. Fine, but to the house and only the house. Finn says. How about me and Tony have a girls' day, and you boys go back to beating each other? I say. Tony follows me back to Dad's house. I open the front door, and Anna is sitting on the island, flipping through a magazine. Tony looks at me, and I nod. She heads towards the kitchen, and I take the steps 2 at a time. I slide on some shorts and a nice tank top and head back down the stairs. I can hear Anna and Tony laughing. The mate pull is one that is strongest with mates that let their hearts guide them. If there is resistance, then that creates doubt in yourself, and that creates a barrier that was never there, but your wolf side picks it up. Anna says, but I'm human. How in the world would I have a wolf side? Everyone has some sort of primal side to them. It is basic human instinct. Our forefathers just had a little more of that primal side than most. I say, don't listen to Addie. Anna looks at me and shakes her head. What? Tony looks at me and raises an eyebrow. You are not wearing that on your date. I look down at my outfit and back at Tony. Look, Aspen's seen me look worse and still loves me. I think he will be fine with the fact that I look like this. I say. I brush past Tony as she sits back down on the stool next to Anna. I grab water from the fridge and the macaroni and cheese she made last night. Now you're going to eat before your date? She asks. Yes, Tony, I am going to eat because I am hungry and I want food. Let her be. Anna says, smiling at Tony. So I forgot to tell you the good news. Murphy finally contacted my parents, and they are relieved to hear I am still alive. They want me to come and visit soon. Tony says, I kind of figured they would have been on a plane out here to see you. I say, the microwave beeps, letting me know I can take the food out. They would, but the pack is on lockdown. Tony looks at me, and I can see the sadness swimming around. I'm sorry, but what does that have to do with your parents? I ask. They were turned about the same time I was taken. Why didn't you tell me that before when we were talking? I ask. Weirdly, I feel hurt by the fact that she kept something like that from me. No offense, but I didn't know you, and honestly, I still don't know you. I mean, you are amazing, and I feel like I've known you for a while, and I've heard the stories, but I don't know you on a personal level. Tony says, still smiling at me. I guess, but I wish you would have told me. I say. Like she said, Addie, she wasn't comfortable telling us that kind of information at the time. Anna looks at me and back at Tony, her eyes full of understanding. I nod, listening to the conversation and answering here and there where it's needed. So, Addie, are you excited for the date? Tony asks. I guess I mean it's weird, you know. It's like since he met me we've always been close, always together, so I haven't needed it. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if we didn't do anything, but he wants to do this. I say. It's romantic, he wants to show you how special you are. Honestly, you aren't like most girls, Addie. I think you would rather be kicking someone's ass than be on a date. Anna says. I shake my head, laughing. I do. I say. Honestly, though, I wouldn't care if he didn't want to do the whole date thing. I know he loves me, and I know I love him. Goddess, I love him with every fiber of my being, and I always have. The day he found me when I had given up on everything. I had given up on being alive, I asked for immunity within his pack. I knew coming back here I would have done something to escape the pain. I have come so far, but only because of the people I surrounded myself with. I say. When I met your dad, I wasn't broken, but my first mate had been my heart and my soul. I thought I would never be happy again. I thought I was going to die alone, and I didn't want to be alone, so I prayed to the moon goddess to send me someone that would love me every cracked piece. Your dad, on the other hand, was broken into so many pieces that I didn't know was even remotely possible. He looked like a man who had been beaten down. Anna looks at me with eyes filled with sorrow. He wanted to die. He told me about all the awful things he had done, all the hateful things he did to you. The things he let others do to you. He didn't want me around, told me if I didn't leave he would reject me because he didn't deserve to be happy. It took me months to get him to see himself in another light. I didn't know that. I say. He doesn't want you to know, but the point is Aspen wants to show you who you are to him, so let him just as your dad let me. Anna says. I open my mouth to say something, but the knock on the door makes me close my mouth. Addie is here, right? I get up and walk down the hall. Aspen stands in the door frame, holding sunflowers in his hands. Maybe I can like this dating thing. Chapter 29. Aspen smiles at me and holds out his hand. I smile and look back at Tony and Anna. Have fun, you too. Anna waves as Aspen pulls me out the door after him. Well, not too much fun. Anna laughs as I slam the door behind me. Aspen laughs. I can feel the heat in my cheeks. I bury my head in Aspen's shoulder. I can't believe she said that, I say. I can. She loves you, Addie. I look away and shake the thoughts out of my head. Today is the day I focus on Aspen. So where is this date? I ask. You'll see. He pulls me along behind him. Please, Aspen. I plead, but he refuses to give. We are almost there, and I'm not going to spoil the surprise I spent all day prepping. I'll be damned if you're going to ruin it. Aspen says. Aren't we the hopeless romantics? I laugh when he turns to face me. Only for you, babe. He leans down and kisses my face. Besides all that badgering, we're here. I look past Aspen, and the most romantic-looking picnic ever is set up. The cliché red and white checkered blanket and the picnic basket with the white napkins draped over the handles. The smile on my face widens. This is perfect, Aspen. I kiss him softly. It is now that you're here. I follow him to the blanket next to the lake and smile at the cliché food, the grapes and the sandwiches. A teen romance inspires the entire picnic. You look amazing, by the way. Really? I thought Tony was going to have a heart attack when she saw me. I really did. I laugh while popping a grape in my mouth. Well, you look amazing. This is nice. Aspen makes me forget what is going on with the rest of our world, I say. I know. It's weird watching mundanes get to live a life solely worried about the politics, who is president, and who is their governor. I wish we lived in a world solely based on the small things. Like who washes the house while we are away on a trip and so on. But we get to worry about whether our entire existence is going to be wiped away. Aspen leans back and puts his hands behind his head, watching the clouds. Actually, third world countries have the same problems we do. They worry about whether they're going to be killed in their sleep or if it will come while they are awake in front of their loved ones, I say. Wrong choice of words. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to seem insensitive. I know we don't have it as bad as some do, but it feels like everything we have ever worked for is falling down around us, and there is nothing we can do to stop it. I know, but let's not talk about that right now. Let's talk about something else. Anything else, really. I say. All right, kids. As the word leaves his mouth, I can feel my entire body tense up. What about kids? I ask. Well, how many do you want? He looks at me with curiosity. I don't know, to be honest. I never thought I would find another mate, so I had planned on just dying a warrior's death, I say. You never thought about kids before you were rejected? He asks. No. I never wanted to bring kids into a world where people could hurt and abuse someone because of how other people saw them. This world is cruel and never fair, I say. Well, do you want to have kids now? I mean, maybe someday when all of this is over and I am able to think on my own and not think about how I might die in the next week. If I have anything to do with it, you will not die. He looks at me with a stern expression. Okay, what about marriage? Did you ever want to be married? That's the easier one to answer, I say, looking at him. When I was little, I knew I wanted a small wedding, nothing huge, and not a lot of people. I want the people who mean the most to me. The people I love and speak to on a daily basis. When I accepted you, I knew that was what I wanted most in this world. I want to be your mate and your wife. I want to be by your side until the end, no matter how much or how little that time may be, I say. That's exactly what I was thinking. I love you so much, Ads, and I will never let anyone or anything harm you. I promise to protect you as long as there is a breath in this body, and as long as I have blood rushing through these veins. I love you too. I lean towards him and press my lips gently against his. Addie. Aspen. We have a problem. I pull away from Aspen and look up as Jason comes running toward us. Well, this was great. I kiss him once more and take off after Jason's retreating figure. Chapter 30, the council room is buzzing with excitement as Aspen and I walk inside. Murphy is looking around the room, his eyes never straying far away from Tony. Dad and Anna look around as if they are on edge. So, what is going on? I ask. Murphy sits down and gestures for everyone to take a seat around the large table. Travis has been spotted. He was near Grant Stanley's pack lands. He has a few friends, and they don't look like the ones who were here, Murphy says. What's that mean? I ask. His friends look more feral than the ones who were with him here. They look like animals, Dane says. When they banished Travis, he was turning humans against their wills, right? I ask. Yeah. Dane looks confused. Why does that matter? When a human is turned against their will, they hold on to the animal side of the two. They hold on to the wolf. The human side is there, but their humanity is not in the forefront of their mind, I say. So he is turning humans again? Murphy asks. Seems like it. I mean, it is very bold even for him. That brings heat on him because most of the families notice the person is missing and file a report, so if someone spots the newly turned shifters, then he has a whole other problem on his hands. What if he uses people who no one would miss? Dane asks. Then that's a whole other problem for us, because that means their humanity is unstable. They don't care about anything, I say. Addie, what about controlling something like that? Murphy asks. They have to have someone still supplying the high if it is a junkie. That takes a lot of effort. The wolf needs more than the human. Like a normal person eats 2 times less than we as a shifter do. That means he would have to have a supplier. Murphy looks at me with a spark in his eyes. We find the supplier, we find Travis and his little creations, I say. Exactly. Murphy jumps up like a kid at Christmas, and I laugh. That's a long shot though, Aspen says. Yeah, I know, but it's the only thing I can think of at the moment unless anyone else has an idea, I say. That's not the only thing I called all of you in here for. Murphy looks down at the floor and away from Tony. Tony's parents were killed on their way here, and their heads were delivered to my front door with a warning note. Tony's eyes swim with tears, and my heart breaks for her. Why didn't we know this morning? I ask. I didn't see it till right before this, so I'm not sure if it was there this morning. Then if it wasn't there when you woke up, how in the hell did it wind up on your front porch? The entire room was silent, as if someone were waiting for a bomb to drop. Someone is sneaking past the land. There is no way we could smell their scent. The only way around that is I cut Murphy off. Nightshade. If someone can stand the effects of the plant, they could slip past any one of us and we wouldn't smell it, I say. Well, we are in serious trouble, and I mean this quite literally, Jason says. Chapter 31, everyone is filing out of the room and talking in hushed whispers, making the scene all the more vivid. Once the last person is out, I look at the remaining alphas in the room. I can't believe how real this threat is, I say. I move to sit on Aspen's lap. I kiss the side of his neck and move closer to him. Tell me about it, Murphy says. I honestly don't know how in the hell everyone is going to come out of this with all of their sanity left, I say. Hell, isn't that the question we are all asking ourselves? Murphy says. I hate to drop this on you right now, Murphy, but I got some business to take care of back home, so I will be leaving. I'll be back when you need me. Aspen kisses the side of my head. It's all good, man. I get it. Got to take care of the pack, Murphy says. I'm leaving some of the guys behind, Aspen says. Thanks, Aspen. Murphy gets up, so I move and Aspen and he hug it out. Hell, to be honest, the guys all but jumped at the opportunity to stay behind. Aspen laughs. The guys were talking about having a good time here and not wanting to leave, so you know how that is, I say. Yeah, Murphy hugs me and kisses the side of my head. Thanks for all your help. You know, if you ever need me again, I will be here. You have become one of my best friends. I kiss his cheek and grab Aspen's hand. I am sorry for everything that has happened to you, Tony. She nods and wraps her arms around his arm. It'll be fine. I have Murphy now, I'm not alone. She smiles and kisses Murphy one last time before leaving the room. I didn't want to say anything while she was in here, but not only did her parents' head come in, so did a necklace. She had dated Adam Sam's son, and when that ended, she dated Zeke. They were close, she told me when they were dating. She gave him a necklace that was given to her by her mother. Zeke was a human boy who left and went to college. She never saw him again. I believe Travis has him, Murphy says. Why haven't you told her? I ask. I don't want her knowing someone who she loves could be taken by a madman. I love her so much, and honestly, I don't want to see her getting hurt any more than she already is. Murphy looks at me, and I can see the pain in his eyes. I'm so sorry. I know, Addie. Call me if you need anything. I know Dad and Anna will be more than happy to come and help out whenever you need help. I know. Aspen kisses my head and leaves the room. Addie, I feel like my entire pack is crumbling around me. He sits down, and I sit on the table in front of him. Hey, don't talk like that. You can't help what your dad did. You aren't the boy you were before you took this pack. I set my hands on his shoulder, leaning towards him. I need you to snap out of this. You are not a kid anymore. You have over 200 lives in your hands. You have to be a man. I know I sound harsh, and I know I sound like I don't care, but I am only saying this because I love you and don't want to see you fall. He looks at me and leans towards me. I hold my breath as his lips press against my forehead. Just the bucket of water I needed. Chapter 32, being back in my bed is weird, to say the least. I sit up and let out a groan. I haven't been able to sleep since we left Murphy's place. Addie. Ansley yells as she opens the door. She stops when she sees me. You look exhausted. Ansley sits down on the bed next to me. I haven't been able to sleep. I fall back on the bed. I don't know why I can't sleep. I let out a frustrated sigh. Maybe because you care about the people there and you didn't want to leave them. Addie, it's okay to care for Murphy. Aspen isn't going to hate you for it. He was the person the moon goddess intended for you to be with, even if he messed up. You both made it better, and so it's going to be different. Ansley smiles at me as I roll my eyes. No, it's not okay. I can't even sleep, so this is like the top of messed up. I sit back up and face her. It's not that I know Aspen wouldn't be okay with me caring about Murphy. It's me. I mean, I forgave him for everything and I hope him and Tony the best. I really do, but another part of me is bitter about it. I say, Goddess, I sound like an idiot. I have a great man and partner downstairs that loves me for me and loved me at my lowest. I shouldn't even be thinking about them. I say, Addie, I'm going to tell you this as your friend and as your future sister. It is going to sting. When I see Will and his mate, I still get bitter and I have Aiden. I shouldn't harbor any feelings, good or bad, but they're there. The feelings will always be there. It will always be like that. I know it sucks, and I get that, but you also have to pull on your big girl panties and deal with it. Ansley kisses my cheek, stands up, opens my bedroom door, and turns to look at me. Lunch is done, by the way. She shuts the door, and I can hear her in the hallway talking to someone, but it's muffled. I stand up and walk across the room towards the vanity. I look at myself and let out a frustrated groan. My hair is sticking up in all sorts of directions, making me look like I just stuck my finger in the electrical socket. I run my fingers through my hair, scrape it all up, and throw it in a bun. There is still some makeup residue on my face from last night. I swear it's like I want to look like a raccoon. I huff. Arms wrap themselves around my waist, and I look in the mirror and meet Aspen's gaze. A gorgeous raccoon. He kisses the side of my head as he brushes my hair away from my neck and kisses down my neck. I do not. I look like the raccoons that steal the garbage in the middle of the night and then go and hide when you turn the light on, scaring them off. I say, You've given this way too much thought, haven't you? He asks. I always think I look like a raccoon. I say. He laughs and kisses my head again and sits down on the couch next to the bay window. How were the war meetings? I ask. About like I thought they would be going. I open the drawers on my dresser and find a loose-fitting tank and a pair of leggings. What's that supposed to mean? I ask. I mean, some people want to help out with the Travis problem, and others think that that is the doing of the fathers before us, and we shouldn't be putting ourselves into the problem that doesn't concern us. He looks out the window. There's more. I say. No, there isn't. Aspen looks back out the window like he does every time he has something to worry about. Don't lie to me. You look out of a window every time I've ever seen you worry about something. I look at him, and I watch his shoulders sag. I agree with some of them, Maddie. I know you care about Murphy, and I get the history, but at the same time, I don't get why we should have to be putting ourselves in the position to lose members of this pack. People are going to die, and I don't want to risk the people I love for something that doesn't really concern my pack. He says. Doesn't concern your pack. My dad is part of the reason Travis is doing this. Dad is part of your pack unless you have so conveniently forgotten that. And we have people we love there as well, or are you forgetting the fact that Ned and Finn are our friends, and they live under Murphy's rule? I swear to the goddess this is the dumbest thing you've ever said in your entire life. I'm heated, and I can feel the anger boiling in me, making me get pushed closer and closer to the edge. No, I haven't forgotten that, but I also know what is best for my pack isn't war. He calmly talks to me, making me get even angrier. I can feel the anger in him, and it isn't about Travis. This isn't even about Travis, is it? You would go to war for anyone else, but it's Murphy. That's the whole reason you don't want to go to war. You won't go because Murphy asked, and I no longer want to hate him. I ask. Aspen looks away, not denying any of it. His face remains neutral, but I can feel his emotions flooding the bond as I know he can feel mine. I don't want to lose you, Addie, and I know if you keep fighting for Murphy to help him, I am going to lose you, whether that be to him or to the fact that you will die for him. He sounds broken and lost, and he won't look at me. I am not going back to Murphy. I love him, but it is not in any kind of way like I love you. When I am with you, it's like the world is spinning like it is supposed to, and we are the only two people on the earth, and that everything will be in line. Aspen, I love you so much it hurts, and I can't be without you. I know who I love and who I don't. I may love him, but I am not in love with him like I am with you. I place my hands on either side of his face and rest my forehead against his. I love you too. Aspen leans up and kisses me gently, as if he presses any harder, he may break me. Chapter 33. Weird how sitting in a room of alphas trying to stop our impending doom is something you get used to. The constant arguing back and forth. The threats they throw out are so empty. I sit in a room full of egos, and I'm the only woman in the room. The rest of the Lunas are waiting in the den doing goddess knows what. Well, I just don't see why we need to help when it wasn't any of our packs involved in the banishment to begin with, Alpha Warren says. Mumbles of agreement are heard throughout the room, and Aspen and Murphy look at each other with worry written all over their faces. Idiots. You know why you need to help, because when Travis is done with the packs that had something to do with his banishment, do you really think he is just going to stop? No. He is going to continue his path of destruction, and we will be found. We have lived in the shadows for centuries, and now this idiot is making junky wars, and you want to know why you need to help. How about your Lunas, the kids, the families that stay with you and follow blindly because they believe you have the answer? I'm not saying you have to fight yourself, but open it up to volunteers. I'm not making anyone fight against Travis, but his daughter is missing, and his wife has long been dead. This makes our bargaining chip disappear. I'm not going to beg any of you egotistical people to help, but if you want, it would be great, because he isn't stopping with a few packs, I say. My breathing has become heavier, and the room has become so silent you can hear the fluttering of the flies' wings on the windowsill. Each alpha stared at the one next to him. Well, if she doesn't make me feel like a complete fool, Alpha Bryn says. He has a smile on his face and is looking around the room at the shell-shocked alphas. Right. All the alphas who were in protest are now looking at Murphy and Aspen for more information. We will send fighters under one condition, Alpha Wren says. What's that? Murphy asks. Any fighters we send are under her command. Wren points at me, and all the others nod in agreement. Wouldn't have it any other way, Murphy says. Aspen nods in agreement. Wren, Warren, and Bran stay around after the others have all left. I bring in some beers, and we all sit around the table. You are one headstrong woman, Bryn says. I do what I can, but I mean someone had to get under the skin of the sticks in the mud. I swear that was like sitting in a room full of old alphas, I say. Tell me about it, and the sad part is they are all our age, Warren says. They're scared of the outcome of the war. I mean, it will change things for everyone. If we fail and he manages to take us out, then he floods out into the open, and anyone is fair game. Travis has this twisted image of how we should be. We live in the shadows, and he doesn't want to live in the world like that. This is how it has always been, and it's not bound to change anytime soon. I hope we can stop him before too much damage is done, I say. You inspire masses, Addie. You would make one hell of an alpha, Wren says. I don't think that is the role I am destined to take, but thank you, I say. Maybe, but I think you would make an amazing leader, Wren insists. She will make an amazing Luna and Beta, Aspen says. He kisses my head and I smile. Well, when we call, be ready. It can be any day. The room is silent once again as we sip on our beers and wait for the unknown to come knocking on our door. Chapter 34. Snarling can be heard all over the compound. Men and women running out of their houses and children's screams echo in my ears. Wolves run past me and blood splashes across my legs. The warm liquid slides down my leg, causing me to glance at the body that had fallen. A rogue, who is only a kid, lies at my feet. His throat is wide open, making me cringe. I feel the vomit coming up my throat, and I spill my guts all over the ground next to the kid. I can see the women and children heading for the cellars. I move closer to guard them until they are each inside. People are running past each other, adding to the chaos. I grab the nearest rogue and crush their windpipe. A woman screams, and by the time I turn around, the woman's head is thrown at my feet. The rogue's eyes flash, and I can see the crazed look in its eyes. I've never felt more scared in my life. Tony runs past me with two on her flank. Tony. She turns in time to be taken down. The larger of the two wolves pins her to the ground, snapping at her neck. She screams out, and I see a wolf freeze, and I know it's Murphy. I weave in and out of the fighting wolves to make my way to Tony. I hear a howl and I turn and Murphy is looking past me. Tony lies lifeless with her throat open. Blood covers her once young, youthful face, which is etched in horror. Addie, move. Aspen yells just as someone lunges at the spot where I am standing. I spin around and am frozen in fear. Someone has Aspen at knife point, and his eyes are on me. I can hear his heartbeat steadying, and I can feel my heart breaking as the man slides the knife across his throat. I feel like someone just stabbed me in the chest. I can't breathe, and it feels like the world is falling all around me in shards. I scream as if I am on fire, and I can't find any relief. I push myself through the crowd and move the man away from Aspen's body. Aspen! I scream. Tears fall down my face. I pull him close to my body and cradle him. Sobs rack through my body, and the screaming and bloodshed seem to fall behind me as I look at Aspen lying in my lap. My body is soaked in blood, but all I can seem to see is his blood. Addie. I look up, and Murphy is looking at me with tears in his eyes. I'm not leaving him. I can't, I say. Murphy looks at me like he has no fight left to fight. I'm not asking you to, he says. He looks at me and helps me to my feet. I gently lay Aspen back on the ground after I kiss him. Let's finish this, and we can get back to our loves, he says. I nod and finally open myself back up to what is going on, and my heart sinks. So many died over the senseless violence. Addie. I look over my shoulder and feel something wet down the front of my shirt. Blood pours out of my shirt. I lift the bottom, shake my head, and drop to the ground. Wolfsbane bullet. Addie. You're going to be okay, Murphy says. No, I'm not. I'm going to die, and I'm okay with it. Please don't leave me. I can't lose you too. I'm sore. I jolt up in bed, screaming. Aspen jumps out of bed and flips on the lights. Adds, are you okay? No, oh, it felt so real. I thought I lost you. Tears begin to fall from my face, and Aspen comes back to bed and holds me. It's going to be okay. Doesn't feel like it. I feel like I just talked everyone into walking to their deaths, and I'm going to be one to walk among the dead. I have a really bad feeling about this, Aspen. Like this is a warning from the goddess herself telling me to find another way. B, please don't say things like that. We are going to be fine. We will protect each other. He pulls me close to his chest, but I can't bring myself to fall back asleep. All I can see are the faces of the dead coming to get me with them. I listen to Aspen's heart and pray that we make the best decisions going forward. Chapter 35, Waking up the morning after my nightmare, makes me feel like I woke up to a funeral. There is a feeling in the air I can't shake, and part of me wants to plead for the men and women to hide, that I was wrong and that they should think about themselves. I wish I had never talked anyone into coming to aid us. I get up and get dressed, heading towards Murphy's house. I'm telling you, Murphy, I have never seen her like that. I hear Aspen's voice before I even come around the house. Aspen, are you sure? Murphy asks. Look, she didn't even act like that after you rejected her. She never once had nightmares. We've killed a lot of rogues and seen many people we care about fall for the cause, and she has never once had a dream like that. There is a brief pause, and I get scared that Aspen has picked up my scent. Maybe we should heed this as a warning and send in a team and just eliminate him instead of putting so many people in harm's way. Let's talk to everyone and see what they think, Murphy says, almost like he doesn't believe anything that Aspen is telling him. Hey, Murphy. I holler after them. Addie, you look like you just woke up. I did. Look, I had a dream last night. I know Aspen told me about it, he says. Aspen looks at Murphy as if trying to figure out how to square up the situation. Did he tell you how I saw Tony's lifeless body on the ground? I ask. Murphy looks at Aspen, and he shakes his head. Not only that, Murphy, but we were killing kids. Like kids not even old enough to drive. They aren't the problem. We need to find a way to bring Travis down without ending so many lives, I say. Weren't you the one who got all the alphas on board for a full-on battle? Murphy asks. Yes, and at the time I thought that was the best way, but I believe I have another way without involving so many people, I say. My phone chimes and I smile. And? Care to tell? He asks. I will just get everyone to meet us in the main hall in 2 hours, I say. I don't say anything to either of the men. I turn on my heel and head for the bike parked out front. I park in front of the cafe and look inside the glass, and Olivia sits near the window, sipping on her coffee. I pull my helmet off and enter the building, making my way to the table. Not the best place to hide, I say, sitting down. Olivia looks up, her eyes wide. She goes to stand, and I grab her hand, setting her back down. Now that isn't nice, I say. What do you want? She asks. Well, I want you to sit down and finish the coffee in your hand. I mean, you did pay for it after all. Olivia fidgets in her chair. Olivia, calm down. I'm not here to kill you. Quite the opposite, honestly, I say. What? She stutters. Your dad has resurfaced, and he wants you and has some shady wolves looking for you, and they aren't the most trustworthy things. Odds are, they would kill you as soon as bring you to him. Travis has pretty much declared war, and I need to stop it before he kills everyone I love, I say. Olivia looks at me like she is trying to figure out if I'm playing some angle. I'm not playing some kind of angle. I know that we aren't on the best terms, but if you ever really loved Murphy, you will help, I say. How do I know you will really keep me safe? She asks. I look around the cafe, put the knife on the table, and slice my palm. I grab her hand, cut her palm, and grab her hand. I, Adalyn Carter Lukos of the Lost Lupus pack and maid of Aspen Crawford, swear to protect you until we get rid of Travis Redden. The skin around my wrist burns as a red band burns into my forearm. Olivia pulls her hand away and looks at her arm. So if you get hurt intentionally, I will lose my wolf, I say. Olivia's eyes are wide, still staring at her arm. Deal. Chapter 36. Pulling up to the pack house, you would have sworn that I had killed Murphy. The car was surrounded, and golden eyes flashed everywhere. Olivia looks at me and sits further into the seat as if she is trying to get as much distance between her and them as possible. I shake my head, open my door, and step out. Damn it, Addie. I hear Aspen and Murphy yelling at me. I hold my hands up, and they look at my arm and make their way to me in a few seconds flat. What the hell have you done? Murphy yells at me. He has hold of my arm and has started growling. The passenger door opens up, and Olivia steps out. She has her arm tucked behind her so no one would be able to see her mark. Please tell me you didn't make an oath? Aspen asks. To save both of our people, I would sacrifice myself. That is all that I say. I grab Olivia and tuck her close to me as we make our way to my house. They are going to hate you even more now, I say. I groan in frustration, knowing how difficult it will be to protect her. I know, but they won't do anything about it. They love you, Addie, and if I'm being honest, I've always been so jealous of you, she says. I open the front door and make my way to the kitchen. I open the fridge and smile at my Dr. Pepper. The cool soda slides down my throat, making me happy. Why everyone treated me like that? I was weak when I lived here. If I'm being honest, if I hadn't run away after Murphy rejected me, I don't think I would be alive right now. It was horrible to be treated like some piece of gum you find on your shoe. I hated my life, and Murphy was the iceberg that sank the Titanic. I couldn't stay here, I say. Olivia looks at me, and I can see the guilt swimming in her eyes. I'm sorry, Addie. I didn't know. I just hated how the guys looked at you. They would never look at me like that. The bullying started because of me. People used to look at you with admiration, and I put my nose where it shouldn't have been, she admits. I know you were the one who started it. She looks at me with shock. I was always the quiet one, so that meant I listened when people talked. The girls were cruel, and they liked to spread the gossip. You know what was the worst of it? Being in the bathroom listening to the girls coming up with worse lies to tell. It made me want to die. I wanted to die, I say. I set the cool drink down on the counter and looked at Olivia. Tears are falling down her face. I'm sorry. Don't be. It made me who I am today. We were just kids that let social status dictate how we felt and how we made our decisions. I do wish things would have been different, but they can't, and that's okay. It all happened for a reason. You know, I know we can never be best friends, but I hope when this is over we can at least try to be friends. I smile at her. I'd like that. Chapter 37. Would you please calm down? I say. Aspen is pacing the room and looking at me like I'm crazy. I sit in the middle of the bed as he huffs and growls. All the while, I sit calmly, listening to him work himself up. Calm down. Have you looked at your arm? You just don't go making oaths like that. His voice echoes off the walls, and the only thing I can think of right now is the fact that he is going to sound like a frog in the morning with all the screaming and hollering he has done. You need to calm down or you're going to sound like Kermit in the morning. I say, Addie, now is not the time for you to be telling jokes. Aspen looks at me like I am the crazy one. At least I haven't been walking around in the same spot, making the carpet lie down and throwing my hands up like we are at some rave. I did what had to be done and I would do it again and again and again. If I knew Travis would take me and spare our people, I'd walk right to him and die happily knowing that you would get to live. I say, that's the thing, Addie, I wouldn't even get to live my life because you are my life. The driving force that keeps me going every day, the reason I get up in the morning. I know it would end me. I can't do it again. Aspen says. Aspen, I say gently. He stops, sits down, and puts his head in his hands. I crawl up behind him and hold him. I kiss the side of his hand, and I can feel him calming down. Addie, how did we get so mixed up in all of this? How did we get so far from what we were? I miss home, and I feel like we are in a foreign land with hostiles all over the place. Because I don't know how to leave well enough alone, I say. I pull him back straight, settle in Aspen's lap, and touch our foreheads together. As long as it's us, I know we will make it to the ends of the earth, and I know we can keep our families safe. I believe in us with everything in my heart that tells me we will be okay. I say. I press my lips to him, and it's so soft and full of worry, but so much more love. Every piece of fear I have, I am giving Aspen to share as he is me. I pull away and look at Aspen, and my heart feels like a hummingbird is trapped inside. I love you, Addie. I love you too, Aspen. Intimate scene ahead, ***, I lean back down and kiss him again, this time the kiss filled with need. He sits up and threads his hands through my hair. I move my hands down his chest area, reach the bottom of his shirt, and slide it up, breaking the kiss. I fling the shirt onto the floor and go back to kissing Aspen. He bites my bottom lip and I gasp, giving him the opening he wanted. His tongue is fighting for dominance and ultimately winning. His hands travel down my back and finally reach my waist. He gently caresses it, making me shiver. I pull away, looking between us and at the fabric still in the way. Too many clothes, I breathe out. In a swift motion, my shirt joins him on the floor. He looks at me and smiles. No bra? I shrug my shoulders, and he pulls me closer to him, his hand gently resting on my chest. I moan softly as he touches me. His fingers find their way to a more intimate area, and I arch my back to give him better access. Aspen massages the other, alternating between both. He pulls away, pushes me off, and gently guides me onto the bed. I'm going to make you feel things you've never felt before, Aspen says, his eyes flashing. I gasp, and as I go to speak, he tenderly touches me. I can feel him smiling against me, his touch moving with care. He gently presses his fingers, making me tremble. I grab his hair, pulling him in closer. I can feel my stomach tightening, and I release his hair, clutching the sheets. I'm so close, I barely get it out before he adjusts his position. I gasp, and the sensation overwhelms me, but he doesn't stop. It makes him move faster. A small sound escapes me, and he looks at me. I gently push him away, needing a moment. I unbutton his pants and slide them down his legs. I rub across his side as I help him out of his boxers. Damn, Addie. He lets out a groan, and I pull him closer. He runs his hands through my hair, a soft, affectionate gesture. We continue, moving together. He then softly kisses my lips, the kiss sweet and full of love. I feel my back touch the bed, and as he pulls away, his lips gently find my neck. Aspen, I need you, I say, my voice soft but clear. Without hesitation, he responds, and the connection between us grows. We continue, our bodies moving together in perfect harmony. He holds me tightly, and I feel a wave of warmth and care. He kisses me again, tender and slow, as we find a peaceful rhythm in the moment. I love you, I say softly, feeling safe in his arms. I love you too. Chapter 38. So we know Travis is holed up in the old industrial side of town. We know he is keeping a low profile, and it's a way to hide his wolves. I say, if we can cut off the drug supply, then he will have no choice but to come out in the open and we can grab him. It is going to be a waiting game. Olivia is sitting next to me, looking at all the people in the room. All the eyes are on both of us. Most of the people in this room would rather see her removed than see her bound to me. I know she can feel it, and that is the worst part of it all. She knows these people hate her, and there is nothing she can do at the moment. So, what do you propose we do with the wolves he made? Alpha Ren asks. We try to save them. They may not have had a choice when it comes to the change, and we shouldn't condemn someone because of their past. They may not have made the right choices as a human, but under the right influence they could be great wolves. I say, what about the ones who don't want help? Alpha Ren asks. They expose us as a people, and we can't have them running their mouths about werewolves amongst them. I pause. They will be dealt with. Let's do this with as minimal casualties as possible. I don't want anyone getting hurt, especially on our side. We want to come back to our loved ones, and we want this over quickly. Murphy says. There might be a chance they have humans who aren't involved in this, and we need them safe as well. They may know about us, but they are not to be harmed. I say. I look at Murphy, and he looks at Tony, and my thoughts go to Zeke. The poor boy probably thinks Tony is in danger, and is only helping Travis to get her to safety. We treat this like it is glass, and we get our people home. Like we have said, the ones who expose us will meet their end, but the ones willing to change and stand with us are granted asylum. I pause and look at Murphy. Everyone deserves a second chance to prove they are not what they used to be. I say, we will pick names and start a shift rotation, and as much as I'd love to be with my mate, no mates together. I say, Aspen doesn't look happy about the news. Why not? I hear someone speak up. I turn, and Sam looks at me with curious eyes. I know I will be more worried about my mate being hurt or even in the line of getting hurt, and I won't be able to do what I need to do if he is next to me. I say, I lay a hand on the side of his cheek. I don't want to know I am looking to make sure he is okay and I get hurt or get someone else's mate or loved one killed. I want to be able to run into a blaze of 7 hells and know I don't have someone distracted. So, how do we decide shifts? Danny asks. I will go on first shift with Gray, Colt, Kaysen, and Uriel. I say. Danny will go second with Adalyn, Sadie, Dante, and Knox. I say. Danny nods and groups with his team. Finney will take third with Logan, Daisy, Reed, and Rhett. The patrol will then consist of Aspen, Ned, Ezra, Vince, Tanner, and Haley. That's all my team needs to be ready in an hour, and we will roll out then. I say. The guys all nod and break off into groups. Murphy, can I speak with you privately? Olivia, hang back as well, please. I stay rooted where I am as I wait for the room to clear. Aspen kisses my head and gets up. Come find me before you leave, please. I nod. The room finally clears out, and the 3 of us sit there waiting for the building to become quiet, so I know no one is listening. Murphy, I need you to protect Olivia while I am out on these runs. I say. His face twists into a look of confusion. You are one of the only people I trust to protect her, and my life is literally on the line with her. I say. I don't know if I can do that, Addie. Murphy says, a look of shame crossing his face. Olivia appears to be more uncomfortable being there and would rather take her chances with a pool of killer sharks. I know you will protect her because even though you won't admit it out loud, you cared for her at one point. It may not have been the type of love you felt for me or that you feel for Tony, but you cared for her all the same. I know it seems like I'm asking you to do something difficult, but Olivia is our only hope and she deserves a second chance as well. I say, you and your damn epic speeches, Addie. Murphy shakes his head, and this causes a smile to form on my face. I know, I swear I feel like something out of one of those cheesy romance movies. We all laugh, and I look at Olivia. I promise to protect you, and I am going to do that. I know we aren't exactly best friends, but you are going to make it through this. I say, now if you will excuse me and my cheesiness, I have a mate I'd like to go see. Olivia and Murphy nod. Chapter 39. The smell of rusting metal makes my nose crinkle up. I look at the guys moving through the shadows. The weight of the blade strapped to my thighs makes me uncomfortable, but I'd rather not have to wolf out unless I need to. This world is full of people who have seen our kind shift and wound up in a loony bin. Uriel emerges from the shadows and comes closer to me. We got movement in the train depot on the south side. Gray and Kaysen are over there checking it out, and it may be nothing, but I wanted you to be ready in case things get complicated. He hops down from my hiding spot and disappears into the black abyss. I listen out for the guys while my eyes scan the perimeter. I hear them talking back and forth, but I can't make out what they're saying. The outline of the rusted buildings against the dark skyline is a stark contrast to the rest of the town, lit up like a Christmas tree during December. I move closer to the lip of the stoop, dangling my legs off. Uriel reemerges and looks at me with seemingly blank eyes. It was nothing. Apparently, some of the local boys thought it would be fun to vandalize the buildings. They love causing destruction, honestly. I don't know how some of the kids around here haven't seen some things they can't explain, especially with the way they run the streets at night. I say. Uriel nods in agreement. What do you think about this whole situation, Uriel? I mean, really, and don't give me any sugar-coated shit. I mean, I get the responsibility my alpha feels to yours, and yours will help Murphy because of you. But in the same breath, we have to deal with Travis, because if we don't, he will just keep pushing the next alpha out because he finds them weak. I know most people think this is a Murphy problem, but it can turn into something much worse. I sit there and think about everything that has led up to this moment. You know, the funny thing is I used to think I'd let this town burn to the ground before helping Murphy, and now I don't think I could let everyone in this shithole die even if me and Murphy have a muddy past. I pause and let out a breath. You have a mate, Uriel? Not yet. Gray and Kaysen have mates? I think Kaysen does, but I'm not sure about Gray. He keeps to himself. I open my mouth to respond when I hear growling behind us. Slowly, I turn to look, and a small blonde wolf slinks towards us. Teeth slowly peel away, exposing the teeth. The tongue rolled out of the mouth, lapping at its teeth. I start to stand, and it snaps at me. Uriel looks at me, and his eyes flash at me. He moves quickly, pouncing to the ground, pulling the wolf down. I grab a dagger from my hip that has wolfsbane laced in it. Hold it as still as you can. I don't want to kill it. I unsheath the blade and prick the skin above the heart. The wolf begins to fade, and the human begins to emerge. The girl looks at me with fear in her blue eyes. I don't want to die. She pleads. You didn't care about hurting us. Uriel says. I don't have a choice. Uriel, calm down. She'll talk, I promise. I keep the dagger in my gloved hand as I kneel to be face to face with her. Where's Travis? I don't know. She looks at Uriel and then back at me. I know you know. I'm not stupid. He knows we are watching him, and that's not the problem. I need to know where he is hiding. He really doesn't let us know. He comes to give us what we want, then leaves us. We are left to fend for ourselves until he comes again. Well, where's your den? I can't tell you that you'll just kill everyone there. Isn't it better than me killing you? I say. Uriel keeps a grip on the girl. Kill me then. She looks at me again, eyes wide. Addie, we aren't getting anywhere with her. What is your name? Violet. Where's your family? I don't have a family, that's why I'm like this. Well, I'm Addie. Help me find Travis, and we can be your family. I don't want to hurt you. I can teach you the rules of our kind, and you can thrive. Uriel seems on edge, as does Violet, but I move closer, my hand hovering over the blade as a last resort. Come on, Violet, what do you owe him, really? Think about it this way, you help me get Travis, and I can save whoever you are protecting. I wouldn't lie to you. If I wanted to, I could have killed you before you even made a move towards me. Better yet, Uriel here could have killed you before you even thought about making a move towards me. We can teach you what it's like to be a wolf and show you the amazing strengths you have. Violet looks at me and back at Uriel, contemplating everything I've just said. The turmoil behind her eyes makes my heart break for her. He's near the river. We planted wolfsbane before he turned us. It's how he has stayed hidden. It hurts us to go near him. I nod and move away from Violet. The next shift should be here. I will let the others know about what we have found out. Uriel says. Violet, one last thing before I let you go. If you betray me or get the people I love hurt or worse killed, I will not even hesitate to kill you and everyone you love. Violet nods her head, lets out a sigh, and looks at Ariel, who pulls her up. I'll take her to the van. I watch as they both leave and look out at the water and try to see him. I hope he is enjoying the last bit of freedom he has left, because I am coming to an end to it. I plan to end this mess he started. Chapter 40. The ride back to the pack house was quiet. The guys were on high alert, with Violet sitting in the back, blindfolded. I can smell the fear and the anxiety coming from her. Uriel keeps looking back at her and me. Do we really think this is a good idea? Uriel says. I mean, we all started somewhere. I was rejected by my mate, and then brought into a new pack, and they believed in me. Granted, I didn't have it as hard as she does, but it's almost the same. I try to sound confident, but really, I'm not sure if it's a good idea at all. I know that I need Travis in front of me so I can end it. I trust you, Addie. Uriel looks away, then back at the road as it widens and reveals the large pack house sitting in the field. Murphy was informed of the situation before we even left. Aspen wasn't too happy with my choice, but held his tongue when he realized I wasn't going to back down. Murphy is going to want to speak with her. I am aware, but he is going to wait until she is cleaned up and has a meal. Uriel nods and parks the car around back in the loading bay. Gray, Carson, and Colt help me get Violet out of the van, and I pull the blindfold off. Sorry, but just in case, I can't have you knowing where we are even if Travis does know. So what you're telling me is, if things go wrong, I won't be able to find my way out? No one speaks, confirming the answer she already knows. Violet doesn't say anything. She just nods and follows me as I walk towards the house. Colt breaks off first and joins the other guys in the game room. Violet watches each interaction with wide eyes. You can have this, Violet. The friendship and the love of a family. Each person here would die for each other, no questions asked. I would die for anyone here, no matter the wrongdoings against me. I say. Olivia looks at me and looks back down at her book. I can see that, and it is something I want, but I think I'm more scared of the rejection. Violet says. I nod in understanding, as it wasn't too long ago that I was still nervous about what everyone would think of me when they found out how I got the name Kiss of Death. As we move through the house, she scans the rooms, looking for anyone to jump out and hurt her. No one here is going to hurt you. They don't want to have to go through me. She nods, but still, she stays on high alert, and I can't blame her. When Olivia came back, most people wanted to rip her head off even though she was no threat to anyone in the room. I stop outside my room and open the door. She goes in and stares at me. The shower is through the doors right there. You are more than welcome to it. I am going to get some clothes out of the closet so we can get you cleaned up. The alpha of this pack wants to speak with you, but that is after you are cleaned up and have eaten. Uriel should be bringing something up here for you to eat. She nods and goes into the bathroom. I grab jeans and a sweatshirt, hoping they will fit. She is about the same build as me. So I know we shouldn't have a problem in that department, but there are still some reservations about the fit. I sit on my bed and my phone dings. I open the screen and Aspen's face flashes across the screen. I don't open it, and I know that I will not hear the end of it when he sees me, but at this moment, I don't want to argue. Our moments are too precious to be arguing every time I turn around. Travis wants the packs to crumble, and he is using the pack as a tool against each other. I'm done. Violet peeks her head around the door, and I hand her the stack of clothes, and she shuts the door and changes. How do you feel? Like I'm human and not an animal on the side of the road. Thank you for that. I nod, and she leans against the wall. There is a knock on the door, and Uriel comes in with a plate of food. Murphy is getting impatient. Uriel hands her the food and lingers for a moment, but doesn't say anything. He drags his gaze from Violet and looks at me. Murphy can wait right now. She is eating, and then he can talk to her. I don't want to hear it from him. I am tired and grouchy. Uriel laughs and nods. I wouldn't mess with you. He laughs. Violet sets the plate down on the table. There is nothing on the plate. She looks kind of embarrassed. It's been a minute since the last time I ate. Travis says I'm the weakest link, so I don't get to eat like the others. I take a look at her, and she is scrawny. Her cheeks are sunken in, and her eyes look like I am staring death in the face. I shake my head, and I can see the potential in her. She has a fire that is not easily put out and a will to live and fight for the life she has been given. Well, I see more than what is on the outside, and I will help you harness the fight and the anger you have pushed way down deep. We will make you one of the fiercest warriors we have in this pack, and when the time comes, all will tremble before you. She looks up at me with wide eyes as Uriel steps back into the room with Murphy. You wouldn't bring her to me, so I came to you. Murphy looks at her, and I see his eyes soften. Let's talk. Chapter 41. Murphy sits down next to me, and I see Violet shrinking in her seat away from Murphy. Sit straight, don't let him intimidate you, I say. Violet straightens herself and holds her head high. Why did you side with Travis? Murphy almost barks at her. I turn and look at Murphy, and he backs off slightly. I didn't choose. I wasn't even aware that there were sides. We were turned and told to do his bidding or he would kill us. I am not ashamed of the fact that I did what I had to do to survive. I would do it again and again if I was put in the same circumstances. I wish I had known of you sooner and the fact that I could pick sides, but I was not aware of this. Violet looks at Murphy with the same determination that she looked at me when we cornered her. I am sorry you had to go through that, but I need to know more about Travis. My pack is having to suffer from my father's mistakes, and I cannot allow him to keep making wolves. This is an exposure to the fact that there are supernatural beings that roam the earth. Murphy says. He has a base camp on the outskirts of town. He thinks if he plants us in the industrial side of town, it hides him, but a few of the other wolves let it slip one time he hides out in an old plantation home. I have never been, but what you should know is that there are some wolves that want out. They don't want this. They never wanted to be in a war, and when they realized this is what it was, they tried. But Travis is. Well, Travis is brutal. She holds her arm close to her body and looks at me. So he's in a plantation home that is good. Murphy says. You did good, Violet. I mean Noah will towards you, but Uriel will watch over you while you are here. I know you may not try to do anything, but I don't have time to be watching over you, and Addie here already has someone she is keeping an eye on. Murphy looks at me with sadness in his eyes. I understand. Violet smiles, and Uriel looks at her with a funny look, but says nothing. I stand up when Murphy does, and I follow him out of the room but stop to look at Violet one last time. I meant what I said about the potential you hold. I say. I follow Murphy into the hall, and he lets out a breath. He is so close, Addie, and I don't know what to do. He rakes his hands through his hair and looks at me. We get a team of the best, do recon if he is there. We take him out and end this nightmare so we can go on about our lives. You heard what Violet said. There are wolves that don't want anything to do with Travis, so if we can get them on our side, we can win this. I know we can win this. I put a hand on his shoulder and lean against him. As much fun as this has all been and becoming friends with you, I miss my home. I say. He lets out a laugh and looks at me. Same. It gets crazy having so many alphas in one place. Yeah, and I could whoop all y'all's asses. We walk outside just in time to see Aspen pulling up the drive. He looks at me, and I see my home. Chapter 42. Aspen pulls me into his arms and places a small kiss against my lips. I smile when he pulls away from me. We know where Travis is, Aspen says at the same time Murphy does. The old plantation on the outskirts of town. I say. Aspen looks at both of us with a look, and I laugh at him. Well, so much for my recon. Aspen huffs. I kiss him again, and we follow Murphy to the pack house. Violet told us a few of the wolves let it slip when they were talking about overthrowing him. I say, well then she wants to live. Aspen says. I turn around and pop him in the back of the head. She has a huge will to live, and she is full of potential despite what everyone thinks about her. When I look at her, I see me in her eyes. The girl I was before I found you, Aspen. I say, and I see Murphy's eyes flash with sadness. She will be a great warrior. I know she will be. Uriel is going to work with her, and when I have the time, I am going to work with her. I see her becoming something better than myself. I say, I don't think there will ever be anyone greater than you. Aspen says. He kisses the top of my head. Well, we need to get everyone together and decide how we are going to handle the new news. Murphy says. You would have thought we were going after the devil himself with the rally that was going on inside this room. All the men are hollering about what they will do to Travis when they get their hands on him. Olivia sits next to me with tears in her eyes, and even though we may have had our differences, I grab her hand and squeeze it, letting her know she is not alone. Why don't we just strip him of his wolf? I know it may be worse than death, but he won't actually be dead. I say. All the men fall quiet and look at me as if I had just said to let the man run free. Addie, that doesn't mean he couldn't become a wolf again. Aspen says. Actually, when he is stripped of his wolf, he cannot become a wolf again. And if someone tried to change him, it would kill them both. You're all screaming about killing the man on sight, and I would love to be the first one there, but if he decides he would like to live, we could do this. Olivia looks up at me with hope, but she stands next to me and looks at every man in the room. We will kill my dad. He cannot be left on this earth to make others suffer. He has killed too many of our kind, and he has tried exposing us. I don't really know him as a father, but I know him as a monster. Olivia says. I turn quickly and grab her shoulders. Olivia, he can live if we strip him of his wolf. He won't have to die. You can get to know your father. I say. No one in the room dares speak as I look at her. Yes, and as much as a part of me would love this, I know that it just won't happen. He is a corrupt man, and as a human, he is still a danger to the people in this room. I know a lot of you may not like me, but I promise if it comes down to it, I would not let any of you die. She looks at me and grabs my hand. That is why I release you of your oath, Addie. I can't let me hold you back. Everyone in the room gasps as the bands on my arm turn gold. You fulfilled your promise to me, Olivia says. Chapter 43 Aspen, Gray, Knox, Kaysen, Rhett, Haley, and I push through the brush around the plantation, and I see Travis walking around the main living room with a look on his face. He looks angry, and I see a young man walking in just as Travis slings the chair at the boy. Everything in me wants to jump up and stop him from hurting the boy. Aspen grabs my hand, pulling me down, apparently knowing what I am thinking. I fall back next to him and the others. I look at him, and he lets go of my wrist. I move with the first team. I look over and see Ariel, Aiden, Sadie, Dante, Reed, and Ezra moving in on the other side. I move closer to the window just as the glass shatters and the boy's lifeless body is tossed through it. I move and jump through just as Travis turns around and looks at me. Aspen keeps everyone on the ground waiting for my signal. So they sent a woman to kill me? Oh, how the times have changed, Travis says. He picks up his whiskey glass and looks at me with a grim look on his face. I don't understand how you could turn against your people. I say. They turned on me. They did this to themselves. I don't know why they have spun this tale to make me the villain. I knew how we could strengthen our numbers, yet they turned against me. My wife even thought me to be a monster. Do you know how that feels? He asks. Yeah, I do, but I didn't want to expose our world to the mortals, and I didn't want to kill entire packs because of a mistake of a few people. I say, the weight of the world falls onto my shoulders. So this is why they chose you to kill me? Because you and I are not so different. He says, no, your daughter chose me. I say, Travis spins around just as the others come rushing in. Well, if she hated me so much, she would have done it herself. That is the problem with the wolves now. They send others to clean up their messes. I am not the only one who is after you all. I am just the first to come forward and decide that I wanted to do it now. And I knew you were coming. If you really want to know the truth, I could smell you from a mile away. I just hope you didn't leave your home defenseless. I step forward, pulling the blade from my back. No, we didn't leave the people we love without protection. And when the others decide it is time, they will die just as you did. By my hand. I kiss his lips and slide the blade through his neck. He drops to the floor, wide-eyed. Aspen grabs Travis's head and throws it in the bag. Time to go and help the others. I just hope that Violet was able to reason with them. I say, when we get back, men and women are kneeling in defeat. A few bodies lay at Murphy's feet. I hop out of the SUV and open the bag. He is dead, so you can choose to either stand with us or die like the others, Murphy says. Violet stands next to Murphy, her eyes scanning the crowds. No one moves to make a move against Murphy. You can be better than what Travis has made you, but I will tell you one thing, and that is if you decide this isn't for you, being a rogue is not an option. It is with a pack or dead. You can choose your path. Chapter 44. Aspen steps out of the car first, and Ansley crushes him in a hug. I have missed you guys so much, she yells. I shake my head and hug her. She looks at me with wide eyes, and I put a finger up to my lips and she nods. The pack will be so glad to have you back, Ansley says. Uriel and Violet step out next, and they are both looking at each other like starstruck lovers. Ansley looks at me, and I shake my head. Long story that I am sure everyone will know about later. Uriel decided he wanted to come back with us because Violet didn't want to leave my side. She vowed that she would be my bodyguard even though we all told her I was more than capable of taking care of myself. Uriel let go of his hate, and this allowed him to accept his mate's bond with Violet. Tony was turned right before we all came home, and she was recovering when we left. Jason, Sam, Jack, Olivia, and Danny pile out of the car, picking at each other. I shake my head and head inside the house, heading up to my room that I left so long ago. Addie? I turn around, and Anna stands at the door. She looks at me with the same look Ansley had. I haven't told him yet. So don't say anything to Dad. Anna nods and smiles at me. Anna, I have a question for you. Anna looks at me weirdly. Okay, can I call you Mom? I know you love my dad, and I know you love me. She doesn't let me finish. She hugs me with tears in her eyes. Of course you can call me Mom. Everyone was sharing their stories about how they met each other, and the mate we found, Ansley, who likes drama and excitement, was soaking it all up. Olivia was smiling, and as much as I hated to admit it, I had come to like her. She looks at me with huge eyes as Mika enters the room. He looks at her, and I smile. Well, if it isn't Mika, I say. He doesn't even acknowledge me. He sits down, and Olivia looks at me and turns red when I wag my eyebrows. How is Rome, Mika? Aspen asks. Eventful, but not as much fun as you all had, it seems. Mika says. Hey, we tried getting a hold of you, but no reply. Well, I'm home now. I smile and nod in agreement. I am home. Aspen lies across the bottom of my bed, and I smile at him. We have to move your things to my room, he says. Yeah, I reckon, and we can move the bed out and put a crib against that wall. I point to the dresser. A crib? He asks. Aspen, I'm pregnant. All the women know, and it has been hard as hell to keep it a secret from you, I say. He jumps up, grabs me, and spins me around, then stops and cradles my stomach. I love you so much, Addie. I love you too.